Salute, peace. What up, man? You know what I'm saying? YouTube, what's going on, man? What's good with y'all? You know what I'm saying? I'm over here holding it down. Like balloon strings, you see what I'm saying? So let me get on this real quick, man. I got a couple little things. You know what I'm saying? I want to get on, a couple little things I want to get on. What's going on though, y'all, man? Just holding it down, chilling. Mm-hmm. Yep. Excuse me. That runs is hidden. So what's going on, man? Y'all just chilling. Yeah, man. So I wanted to make it, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to make a video about this the other day, man. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to hold it down and I wanted to kind of listen to other people's commentary on it too. But you're gonna hear my commentary on this foolishness, madness. My thing is, man, I'm anti-immigrant, man. These people come over here and treat you like how you gonna the immigrants come over here and treat you like shit. How you gonna come over here and treat the American motherfucker like shit because they try to make it seem like so-called black people ain't American? Why is our history different? They try to take, black history. Why can't it just be American history, though? This motherfucker, if the history happened on the shores of this land, isn't that American history? Let's get into this, though. Yes, sir. Let's go in. Damn. All right. Let's go in. Damn it. All my tabs is gone. So, I had too many damn tabs open anyway. So, what's good with y'all, man? Posted. Let's go, baby. All right. So yeah, this lady Shilloh, man. You know what I'm saying? I got her. What's her name? I got her name. You know what I'm saying? See, a lot of this stuff be psyops, though. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff be psyops anyway. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into this shit, man. To the meat and the potatoes. How them white motherfuckers say, let's get into the meat and the potatoes. Though. You know what I'm saying? How the Europeans say it? All right, let's go. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. What's good? You know what I'm saying? What's good, y'all? All right, so yeah, man. So I'm not surprised. This type of stuff don't surprise me. You know what I'm saying? It don't surprise me. The fact that she almost got $1 million by other white people don't surprise me. Maybe some other Hispanic motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, in there too. You know what I'm saying? Some fellow Ukrainian motherfuckers up in there. You know what I'm saying? So okay, so let's get into this though. Right? Let's get this from a couple, and let's see. Look how the reporters report this. Right now, we're gonna go into the what's name. See what I'm saying? And then we're gonna go into these weirdos. I want to play Officer Tatum, and I want to play the Hodge twins. All right, I want to play these weirdos. You know what I'm saying? Hold up. Hold up. You know what I'm saying? Shilloh. All right, so what kind of name is that? Oh my bad. She an immigrant. All right, so let's get it. Shit. Let's get to New York Post and let's get this other one real quick. And we're gonna play these weirdos. Saying, my thing is, where the hell were the kids' parents at? Where was the kids' parents at? I don't even see the damn kid. But that's besides the point. Where's the kid's parents at? All right, just like with the Carmelo thing, where's the video? You know what I'm saying? But this lady, man, and you're gonna see, I'm gonna play these cats' videos, and you're gonna see how you're gonna see the what's the name, man. You're gonna see just the what's the name, man? Just the straight up, just the cooning in excuse making, excuse taking, making, faking. You know what I'm saying, that these people do. So let's go into this real quick. My bad. I didn't even play the whole thing out. My bad. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that.
She was gonna deny it and walk away.
Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him a. Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say.
This is my thing, right? It ain't the fact. So I guess the kid is Ethiopian, right? See, this is where I be. But see, this is my thing, right? So you see, American so-called black people going in on this and playing this and reacting to this, right? Why? Where's the immigrants though? Where's the African immigrants? Why are they not reacting to this? Where's the Ethiopians and the Somalians? Why are they not? That's weird to me. I don't know. I think that's weird. Where is the Somalian and the Ethiopians? Why are they not? Something's not right. Some don't add up. And then look at the twist, right? That see a lot of this stuff be psyops. A lot of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? A lot of this. That's why. I wanted to report on this just because the simple fact, right? The almost let's just fuck it. $600,000 that were donated. $600,000 that was donated, right? And the fact that this kid was autistic, right? And the fact that she used hateful language and used slurs against, you know what I'm saying, so-called black, whatever. Us, whatever the fuck, right? Even though, anybody ignorant, I guess that's what the nigga really means and shit. That's weird. Like, that's why I don't go into all that shit. If I'm gonna make me mad and piss me off, he called me that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't really do all that. But see, the thing is, if I know that you're racist, I'm gonna get on you. Right? That's just that's a different problem that we got. That's how I look at it. That's a separate problem. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. Now look at the trick bag they try to do. Now they try to say that this guy right here is a pedophile, right? I don't know what any of that got to do with any of this shit. Or I think they said I think maybe he assaulted a kid or something. I don't know before. That's what they said. All this is allegedly. And plus the thing is I can't believe anything these people say anyway, because these are the same people that donated $600,000 to this racist. How could you believe people like that? How could you listen to people like that? How are people credible? Right? Make sense? Let's go. Oh, he's a pedophile. He's an SAer. Right? What if if he really was, right? He's a piece of shit. But at the same time, what does any of that have to do with what she did? So we're gonna deflect and say, nah, the hell with her, you know what I'm saying, being racial and being burnt and being weird, and being shaped like a totem pole, right? So the hell with her, you know what I'm saying? Using the slurs and using it towards an autistic kid, the heck with all that. That don't matter. The fact of the matter is that the dude that's accusing her, how dare he? People calling him an immigrant, right? They ain't calling him an immigrant. And they calling him a SAer. But what does that have to do with anything? Well, see, the media is in on it, baby. The media didn't put her name out. A white dude put her name out. No, wait. No, my bad. The white dude put things out about her, but he didn't put her name out. My bad. She put her name out on the GoFundMe. That might not even be her real name. Shilloh. That shit, the boy, I'll tell you, these man, they be having the funniest sounding names. Boy, they say our names sound funny as shit.
She was gonna deny it and walk away. When there was a video and she saw that I was recording, she doubled down and even tripled down now.
Shit. Good point. What up? Dawson, what's good? Dawson, what up, man? Just chilling, man. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just doing some commentary on this, man. I'm gonna do a couple commentary on a couple little things. Trying to see, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is, I mean, this stuff don't surprise me though. I'm not surprised. See, that's the thing. I'm not surprised. That's what these people do. That's what these people do. That's what they do. Love is fake. The hate is real, baby. No. But see, and they're like, oh, see, this is all, and see, that's how you know it's a psyop. Why is this connected? See, that's how you know it's a psyop too, because why are we connecting this to another case? Oh, Carmelo Anthony case. What does any of this have to do with anything with each other? One thing about me, see, we let them shift the narrative. We let them in the creed, the creed media, we let them shift the narrative. You see what I'm saying? They shift the narrative about everything, right? They're the ones that said we were savages and this and that and this and that and the third. And you know what I'm saying? They was the ones that said that about us, right? They was the one that made those accusations about us. Sorry about that. The ghetto birds out there. The ghetto bird flying around like usual. They was the one that made that narrative about us, or narratives about us. They was the one that said we like chicken and watermelon. But see, watermelon is one of the most healthiest. The funny thing about it is watermelon is one of the most healthiest fruits that you can fucking consume. You go to a Popeyes, what race do you see more in the Popeyes? Do you see us more, or do you see the Asians more in the Popeyes? But they, oh, you love chicken, huh? I don't let none of these people stare. I don't let none. I don't. People we talk about slavery. Black people amongst themselves don't talk about no damn slavery, okay? Because the real people that I in my circle, and the people that I mess with, they know there was no such thing as slavery. They know that slavery was clocking in and clocking out for somebody. That's slavery. They know exchanging your time for money is slavery, right? That's slavery. They know that the real slaves or Slavs, excuse me, look like the people like them. Why do you think America has such a lax policy on immigration? They're not talking about the Mexicans or the Hispanics, man. They talk about the Europeans. They want to bring them over here. Immigration is not about who you're trying to keep, just about who you're trying to keep from over here. Immigration is picking and choosing who you want over here. Hello. Immigration is about who you want over here. It ain't just about picking and choosing who you don't want over here. Immigration is about who you want over here. Picking and choosing who you want over here and who you don't want over here. It's that simple. You see what I'm saying? But see, oh man, Carmelo Anthony, you guys. And see, they say shit to where they tell you that you're not supposed to be on code. They tell you because they're saying, "Oh, y'all donated money to a killer." Then that's basically telling you, you know what I'm saying, shaming you for supporting Carmelo Anthony, right? But see, don't they support their mass killers and shooters? Don't they raise mass killers and shooters? Y'all the ones that raise the mass killers and the mass shooters, but you want to talk about us donating some money to a person that uses self-defense. But personally, that's how you know a lot of these cases be staged or psyops, because they'll mention another case and then they'll mention a famous media case and then they'll mention another famous media case and link them together. What does this have to do? What does this have to do with Carmelo Anthony? Oh, they're mad because we made. But what? I don't go with the narrative. I ain't going on narrative. I make my own narrative. That's the point. That's why I have a YouTube channel, to make my own narrative. That's not how that works. That ain't how that works. I might as well try to work for the mainstream media. Then that's the case. A victim of an attack. You know what I noticed about the European? The European stays on code with each other, good or bad, right or wrong. We do not. We do not. You notice that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, peep that? No, that's all right. We don't stay on code, good or bad. They do. So win or lose, good or bad, they're going to support each other, which they should. I mean, well, shit like that, they should, my bad. But at the same time, We should, good or bad. And it's not being like them. It's being like right. We, see, you got all the religion in the world and all this stuff, right? Why are we not moving different? Because I get it. Oh, God is going to save me. God's going to do this. God's going to do that. God's going to correct me. God's going to do this. God's going to pick up the slack. That's not how that works. So, I mean, the things like Emmett Till, to where old girl gets off, right? Like Emmett Till to where old girl gets off. You see what I'm saying? She gets off. This type of stuff happens. It happened again. Case law, you know what I'm saying? See, the thing about that, even though a lot of these is beside, but the thing about that is the crazy part, the messed up part about that is case law. A lot of times case law is going to repeat itself. They're going case law, oh, well, you know what, this was ruled in this, okay, the judge, you know what I'm saying, or whoever, the jury, you know what I'm saying, and the crooked judges are going to make sure that them juries know the details about that form of case law, right? See what I'm saying? But see, these people are always the one thing I brought up the Emmett Till thing. These people are always the victims. These people are always the victims, man. They're always the victim. An attack. Oh, she's the white. She can cry her little white tears. She could cry her little white victim tears. Oh my God. I was viciously attacked by a 5-year-old. Oh my God, I got confronted for something I did wrong, and I was attacked. I don't. When they call me a victim, I ignore that shit. Oh, you guys always play the victim. Who are the mass shooters and who ain't? Are we the mass shooters or are they the mass shooters? Who's the mass shooters and who's not the mass shooters? They don't be held accountable to the point where I just feel like I want to flip, man, and I feel like I want to go off, man, and just do this, man, hurt people, man. So-called black people are wired different. We wired different. We done been through the trauma, the drama, the pain, the slaying. You see what I'm saying? That's just another day. Shit. A trauma-filled day. Shit, just another day. Somebody getting shot in the hood. Just another day. You know what I'm saying? Somebody doing some racist towards you. Just another day. I'm used to it. They're not, though. It makes sense? People that haven't been through stuff always complain about when they go through stuff. Does that make sense? Make sense? There was some cats that are saying that we give that word too much power, right? I think we give them too much power. How about that? Right? Does it make sense? We give them too much power. But see, the thing is, so it's cool for you to call a little kid. But see, there's no limit. You see how there's no limit? She did so many different things wrong on so many different levels, but nobody's calling that out. But people that don't look like her, that's interested, and people that do look like her are defending that. Where's the Democrat? Where the liberals at? Man, where the liberals at, man? Now, back in the day, you used to be like, where the hoes at? Where's the liberals? Where the Democrats? Where the white Democrats at? Where the people talking against this? I only see black people. Hell, where the Ethiopians and the Somalis at? Where the Ethiopians and the Somalis at? They quiet, huh? So what happened to an Ethiopian kid, and only so-called black Americans are going to stick up for it and get on them, right? But these same immigrants don't even like so-called black Americans. Damn, that's interesting. These motherfuckers, but guess what? The white immigrant, she's an immigrant from Ukraine. Oh, the Algov, they got the Algov battalion, which are Nazis, right? But she's an immigrant her damn self. Nobody ain't calling her an immigrant, right? Nobody calling her an immigrant. That's interesting. Wow. So she did so many different wrong things on so many different levels. He's for one, he's autistic, right? Oh, you see how that goes out the window when somebody black, so-called. I guess they're immigrant, whatever. So-called. So when it's somebody that looks like me, you see how everything goes out the window. But when it's somebody that looks like them, when it's somebody that looks like them, then it's a different, right? Then the victim. Oh my God! And the kid was autistic too. So the nerve, the devils, the demons, savages, right? On so many different levels, dude. So they're not calling out the fact that she said this says the boy's autistic, and the boy's is a 5-year-old. So somebody under the age of 10, right? Really, really, really small child. So autistic, really, really small child. What else? There's something else to it. There got to be something else to it, man. Shit. There got to be something else to it. Really small, really small child, autistic. And she called him the N-word. And she acted like she was low-key chasing the kid, right? She acted like she wanted to put her hands on the kid. See, that's the thing. Now, even if it was a psyop, even if this is some bullshit, even if this is stage, right? The perception is not. Make sense? The perception is not staged. This is a cold perception. This is everyday life, day-to-day, everyday life for people that look like me, or even sometimes immigrants that look, I don't know. But you see what I'm saying? Make sense? The perception is real. These motherfuckers say, oh, if we stop talking about racism, if we just stop talking about it, it'll go away. You know how you fix racism? How was that? You just stop talking. But isn't that racism a part of classism, dude? Isn't politicians always talking about classism all the time? About the elite, the middle class, the poor, like it's always being brought up in our faces all the time. How does that work? Well, I tell you.
In business, you only get one chance to make a.
All right, let's go to Jalen. Let's go to whoever fucking channel this is. Shout out to them. All right, let's go to them.
This woman legit raised hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Okay, it sounds like this could be a European. Okay, salute to this guy. Salute to Jalen. All right. You got some. You do got some. I'm okay. I guess. My bad. But from what I'm seeing right now, this is a European dude. Shout out to Jalen. He has a big platform, 305,000 subscribers. It sounds like he might be calling us out. Let's see what's up. And I seen a couple comments. Let's see what's going on with Jalen's commentary on this. All right, I'm gonna stop with my own commentary. You know what I'm saying? So it sounds like we might have to salute to Jalen, and we might have to say "F you" to Officer Tatum. So somebody that look like her is like, what type of issue is this? And somebody that look like me is like, good job. As a matter of fact, it ain't about white people. It's about black people. You know what Officer Tatum said? Black people need to teach their kids not to be thugs. I kid you not. So, okay, so what the fuck does us teaching our kids not to be thugs have anything to do with any of this shit? Damn. See, I'll debate people like that. I'll really debate people like that. I'll go on his show, my platform, even though I only got like 100 subscribers. We go anybody, his platform, Rumble, any motherfucking platform. I'll debate you. And I'm gonna clown you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make you look stupid. I'm gonna make you look dumb. Here we go. Shout out to Jalen.
By being racist to a child. Like, I wish I was joking, but I'm not joking. You guys know those Karen freak out videos that used to go viral all the time, where like some entitled white woman would just start ranting and raving about how like some black child is selling.
You know what's crazy though? You know what's crazy about this? Karen, that term Karen was not modeled after no black woman. It wasn't even modeled after no Hispanic woman. You know what type of woman that was modeled after? After a European woman. Even Europeans call other Europeans Karens. Black people call Europeans Karens. You got black Karens. You got black people calling other black people Karens. You got white people calling other black women Karens. So I mean, but the real authentic, you know what I'm saying? Carbon copy cut out. You know what I'm saying? That was molded after was the European woman. Like he said, entitled white women. What did he say? Entitled white women, right? Let's go. He said it. I didn't say it.
Selling lemonade on the
Don't get on me.
side of the road, and she calls the police on this kid. Well, it used to be that those people
This channel is so race friendly.
would be laughed at, that they would be shamed. But now, if you're a racist white woman, you get hundreds of thousands of dollars. So the story, from how I understand it, is this woman was at the park with her kid, and there was this other kid who I'm assuming is an African American child. Given the context, I'm pretty sure that's what's going on here. Now, she claims that this kid was going through her bag and was trying to take something.
You call him the child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him. Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again?
But
And then somebody try to say, "Oh, she with a black dude, man. Guess what? Yeah, man, she with an African dude. What? Oh, shit. Ain't that something? What? Shoot, ain't that about a bitch? She with an African? You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers talking that shit, but see, it doesn't matter. I remember one of my cousins, may rest in peace, his baby mama was talking some racist shit, and her sister was ranting, raving, saying some racist shit to him. So I mean, who's surprised? She just likes the D. She don't like the B. Does that make sense? She don't like the black. She just like the D. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? They just be liking the D. They don't be liking the B. That makes sense?
instead of reacting to this like a normal, reasonable person. I mean, this is a child, right? This is a kid doing something that they're not supposed to. Instead of being like, hey, like don't go through my bag, she starts hurtling racial slurs at this kid. Now, this part wasn't recorded, so she could have gotten away with this. Instead, she is confronted by this other man who's also at the park, and she just starts throwing the N-word at him and admits to calling the child the N-word and calls the child the N-word again.
Okay.
Hit me, baby.
All right, that's what you say.
One more time for the room.
Nope.
Y'all know Ukraine is a racist country, right? Do y'all know that? You know, Ukraine has a branch called Algov, wherever the fuck, I don't know how to speak that shit, and battalion, and they're actually Nazis. Y'all know that, right? You know, supposedly that might have been a side too, but whatever. For this sake, for this same narrative sake, you know what I'm saying? You know, they was chasing Africans during the pandemic, Africans out of Ukraine. So
Somebody dig into your
A little kid just did, you
that little kid, you call him the little child?
What if he acts like one? He's gonna.
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old and the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act.
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech, and you can be that.
I don't give
Now, this is one of the like clearest shut cases I've ever seen. Like, this woman is she.
but see, I like how you said that, because you can see in court of law, you know what I'm saying? I've been on a couple of different sides of the law before, you know what I'm saying? So I've been at court for people. I've been inside. I've been in the court. I've been incarcerated in the court on the other side of the bench. I've had people visit me while I was incarcerated on the other side of the bench. Like, anyway, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so in a court of law, your word doesn't mean shit, right? It's all about evidence. It's all about actions. It's all about you know what I'm saying? Documentation. It's all about video. Any kind of concrete evidence. It's all about word doesn't mean nothing, right? So the thing is, it'd be a clear shut case with these people, right? You see what I'm saying? It'd be, man, you'll have evidence, you'll have video evidence, you'll have motherfucking their signature on some shit, you know what I'm saying? You'll have them recorded, you'll have motherfucking footprints and shit. Like, Boy, I tell you, man, and it's still it's my thing is why how does that work? So they was messing with you already know what I think about this. But anyway, they was messing with Carmelo's GoFundMe. They were, what I'm saying, all throughout time they've been making it to where you don't get yours or they take yours down for these frivolous reasons, but she gets to keep hers up. See, that's how you know this is a psyop too, man. That's how you know this stuff right here is strictly you know what I'm saying, right? This type of stuff been happening since the beginning of time. But I noticed since Trump is in here, they do stuff like this all the time. But when Trump gets in there, I noticed they really ramp it up. The white versus white versus black. You know what I'm saying? Even though that's really how it is, or it's really immigrant versus black. But anyway, was all the above, immigrant, white, all that circle versus black. There we go. So you know what I'm saying. But at the same time, I just it's crazy, man. So we really got to just stand on business, man. But so I mean, if it's all those people versus you, what is that? How does that equate? You know what I'm saying? And then there goes the narratives and the stereotypes. But like I was saying, in the court of law, man, word don't mean nothing. So I mean, little thing called evidence. They'll be caught dead red-handed, dead to rights. You know what I'm saying? And she still got 6. I mean, why is the GoFundMe? Why you? That's how you know. Like I said, it's a psyop. But why you gonna keep her GoFundMe up? And that's how you know it's a lot of racism. It'll never go away. Classism, racism, none of that will ever go away. It's Hunger Games style shit to it. Because that's why, if you think about it, I just thought about it right now. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it, Hunger Games is all about competing and killing and doing all this to live. So you're in a basically look at it like that. It's survival, right? You're in these games trying to kill everybody and knock everybody off to live. It's the same thing. Isn't it the same thing we're living in America? Nobody cares about nobody. There's no moral principles, values. None of that shit is out the window. Motherfuckers run you, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You cross the street, motherfucker act like you still want to hit you and shit. You got the right of way and shit. Pedestrians got the right of way. Motherfuckers still act like they want to hit you and shit. It's just nothing no more. This society is making it to where everybody is numb. Everybody's just selfish. Everybody only care about them. Everybody's like F the next person. Everybody's that much more selfish, doggy dog. You see what I'm saying? Hunger Games. Ain't that the Hunger Games? It's psychological, man. They got us fighting for crumbs. They got you fighting for crumbs. They got you, the white man, they got the white people thinking they better, but damn, dude. Okay, so are you, if you're not an elite white person, how are you better? And that's not even better at being elite. Money, what is money? That's some shit, you know what I'm saying, that could get taken away. That shit, as a matter of fact, the dollar is de-dollarizing as we speak. The dollar damn near every day goes by, the dollar is losing value. So what are we talking about? What are we really talking about here? Make sense? But it's just corny to me, like, damn, like, but I'm not surprised. None of this stuff surprised me. When I see stuff like this, I'm like, I ain't like, oh my God, my fucking jaw's not dropped to the damn floor. I'm not like thinking like, you know what I'm saying, in any kind of shock or utter. That shit it's nothing to me, man. This is every day, man. I mean, I live in California, man. This is every day. You feel what I'm saying? I'm from New York, you know what I'm saying? Where the Italians and the Jews, you got the Italians and the Jews, you know what I'm saying, shitting on my pops, you know what I'm saying? Excuse me, the Italians and the Irish people, you know what I'm saying, was real racist to pops. He was in the union, he was a foreman, he was in construction. A lot of racism and discrimination, you know what I'm saying, that those people put him through living in New York. Just like out here. A lot of the racism, discrimination that I've been through and faced living out here in California. It makes sense? These liberal Democrat states, they just because you're in a liberal Democrat state don't mean nothing. You gotta look at it like this. Look at your people like policy. Whatever policy gets pushed for people, you see what I'm saying? Then they have some kind of agenda for those people. Then they have some kind of you know what I'm saying, set asides for those people. What did Martin Luther King say? What did he say? They was giving these people land grant colleges and set asides. He's talking about immigrants. He's talking about the white immigrants. How you got all these African and Somali immigrants in Minnesota. You got Minnesota. Okay, Minnesota has a lot of African immigrants, and Minnesota has a lot of Chinese immigrants, Hmong people, immigrants, right? How, so, and then people said there could be net reparations, this, not enough money, this and that. Y'all had enough money to allocate towns and cities for these damn immigrants. Shit, couldn't those be a lot of those towns and cities been designated just for specifically for us? They're talking about there's a replacement. Nah, I think we're the replacement. All right, so let me finish up with a little bit of this dude's commentary. But dude was spitting, man. He's spitting. He's spitting. He cooking. Like they say, he cooking.
Shitty person, like you don't go throw hurtling racial slurs at children, let alone adults. Now, how exactly do you think the internet reacted to this? Well, she ended up opening up a GoFundMe, or well, on one of those like sites that's kind of like GoFundMe. And I kid you not, she has raised up to $300,000, and she's claiming to somehow be a victim of this. She was going around this park calling a kid racial slurs, and now she's raising money. My name is Shilloh, and I've been put into a very dire situation. I recently had a kid steal from my 18-month-old son's diaper bag at a park. I called the kid out for what he was. Dude, I can't with these entitled white women, man. Another man who we recently found out has had a history with law enforcement proceeded to record me and follow me to my car. He then posted these videos online, which has caused my...
it's a psyop right there. How does she know that? How does she know he had a history with law enforcement? How did they know that he's an SA offender? How do you know that he's a rapist? How did they know, supposedly, allegedly? I think really from what the story I heard, I heard he like hit a kid or something like that. It was like some assault type. But see, it would be like that or whatever. That's not good. Or it would be something that's different, and then they'll, you know what I'm saying, lie and then scoop it up to where he was like messing with a kid or something. You know what I'm saying? It's just defamation. It's deflection. You got to really handle these people like kids. That's how I look at it. You got to handle them like kids, like children. Children are the people that don't take no accountability. Children are the ones that have to learn. Children have to learn all, from what you say and what you teach them, also by their actions, right?
Family and myself.
I guess these people do too.
Great turmoil. I mean, maybe this is just me, but maybe you shouldn't go around calling children the N-word. I mean, maybe that's difficult to do. I don't know. I've never been in that situation, but apparently this little sob story of hers is working. She's actually raised over 500,000. I said 300,000. So in the
look how fast. But see, that's how I was saying it's a psyop too, because how did she know about dude's legal problems? Like, come on, bro. That's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? And if that's the case, and if he was really messing with kids, wouldn't he already see? That's BS though, dude. Because wouldn't he already have been in the registry somewhere? You know what I'm saying? When he would have already been in some kind of SA registry already, to where the point where you could look up on the app and on your phone and see where he at and see the status of him yourself, damn self.
Time that I first saw this, she's raised $200,000 more, and she has $1 million goal. And if you want to know the kind of people who are funding this, well, you only need to go to the comment section. Let's see what the internet has to say. Internet gives $500,000. While only making up 13% of the wizard world, they are responsible for 50% of Avada Kedavras. Wow. So saying a word is worse than stealing. Got it. It was a kid, man. It was a kid. So yeah, calling a kid the N-word for stealing from you, apparently we don't even know if that's true, is a lot worse than stealing. Yeah, the internet is crazy, man. Like 5 years ago, you couldn't even breathe wrong. If you made like one somewhat offensive joke, your entire life was over. But now you can just go around.
You know what? That's a good point. You know what? He got a good point, because look how much censorship. See, that's a good point he brought up, and how look at the hypocrisy, because they want to see, look how they want to hit you hard with censorship when it comes down to certain things, like the candy bar G-Zab, you know what I'm saying? Like the creed, you know what I'm saying? Certain things that they will lock you down and take your stuff and hit you with some type of either a hate speech or some type of medical misinformation or some foolishness like that. You see what I'm saying? Certain things that you say, you know what I'm saying? That you notice the censorship is real for them certain things. But like you just said, back in the day, it was like it was less. It was like there was more. It was okay. There was sensitive. They were more on sensitive topics versus censorship. Now it's a gang of censorship, and they don't care about sensitive topics, but only certain sensitive topics that they deem are sensitive topics, or only certain people that they deem. I mean, put it like this: if the people that they tell you can't talk about or say anything about are powerful people. Duh, that's why you can't. I mean, come on. And the people that you can't say something about, like us, so-called black people, are power. A lot of times are powerless. I mean, not numbers and strength and energy and currency and nothing like that, but when it comes down to economics and stuff like that, we are.
Calling little kids the N-word, and you're gonna get $500,000 for that. And people are,
and it's a kid too, and he had autism. So see, like I said, all that. I mean, and see, a white kid could shoot something up and shoot a school, or whatever, and then they'll still be hit him with the sympathy and empathy, and they'll still say that there's something mentally wrong with the dude. But you could assault or either say something crazy to a black kid that something is wrong with you, and it's okay. So I mean, I'm not buying all that. I'm not,
are going to defend you. I don't know. Maybe this is a hot take. Like maybe I'm completely in the wrong here, but I don't think you should go around calling children racial slurs. I think that as an adult, you should handle that situation a lot more maturely. Anyway, the internet just it just ceases to amaze me. Like we got Kanye West over here rapping about how he loves. So I became a nasty bitch. I'm the nigga, how? Like that's the state of things right now. Things are probably only gonna get worse.
That's a good point. Oh boy, Jalen, man, shout out to him, man. Salute. I mean, this dude sounds like a young dude,
but I'll be here. I'll be here if anything cool happens. And yeah, if you guys want to
breaking it down, man. Salute to Jalen, man. Shout out to his channel. Y'all see it right there in the description, man. You know what I'm saying? Check it out. You know what I'm saying? He got a lot of subscribers, man. Check him out, man. Good commentary on this video, man. Salute to him, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna check out some more videos in the future by him, man. That was good. That was good, man. So, you see, there's some Europeans speaking against this, right? Because, and the thing is, too, it's like, it's the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, from what it sounds like, they're not like that, which is good. But then, too, that's not the, but see, good is bad now. Bad is good. The lies are the truth and the truth are the lies. So I get it. Why would we want to move about what's good or what's bad? Why would we want to move like that, good or bad, or you know what I'm saying, or truth or lies? No, why would we not? It don't work like that. Look at how dysfunctional everything is right now. Look how out of whack and out of place everything is right now. Okay, you know what? Let me this guy. Okay, let's hear what he got to say real quick. Okay. Let's see. Hold up. Let's see what this guy got talking about. Now he said it's a psyop in a state.
Stop buying
Let's see. I already said it's a psyop. So let's see.
courses. But first things first.
No, I'm on it.
Let me build your store free today.
See this dude. See this European dude. Oh, it's a psyop. Ah! You know what I'm saying? He got a gang of followers, 343,000. You know what I'm saying? Viva Frey. I don't know whatever this guy is. Salute to him. But my thing is this. See, these people break it down and say, the dude I just played, the European, salute to him. You know what I'm saying? Salute to him, man. But this dude, I could already tell this dude. See, we could call out a psyop, or we could say this is a psyop. And see, I'm gonna break it down and I'm gonna tell you the real. It's a psyop, yeah, but the perception is not a psyop. You see what I'm saying? That makes sense? Them donating that money is not a psyop. Them feeling like that, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You put that savage in his place, Officer Tatum giving that bullshit commentary is not a psyop. The coons that we have in our amongst our ranks that look like us, that are gonna coddle and kiss the white man's ass all day long, that's not a psyop. So that's dangerous. That's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? It's dangerous. Oh, it's a psyop, it's fake. You know what I'm saying? It's staged, man. It's a hoax. Okay, that's fine and dandy and shit, right? But the perception is not a psyop at all. the fact that everybody hates us is not a psyop. Well, I mean, it kind of is. Well, how they did it was a psyop, a psychological operation to have them feel like that toward us in the indoctrination propaganda. So kind of is a psyop, but then at the same time, it's not a psyop to where it's staged or a false flag stage. You see what I'm saying? Because it's real, and these people really feel like that. The intentions are real, the motives are real, the disrespect is real. You know what I'm saying? You seen a white dude with a swastika on him, that's real. But you at work and you can't do that. Like, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Shit, man. We're talking about shit over shit. You know what? I think I gotta go to lunch. You know, catch this motherfucker outside. But
and then give you my courses.
Viva Frei, former Montreal litigator.
And then now I'm gonna hear, and then after this, I'm gonna play Tatum's. The Hodge twins, and I'm gonna play Tatum. And that's it. And we ain't gonna talk about this no more. We're gonna go on to something else, and I'm gonna end the video.
Turned current Florida Rumbler back in my home office for a bona fide car vlog, and I have been going into this story to an allegedly autistic 5-year-old black child as the most unholy word in the English language, the N-word. Someone in the park who happened to capture the aftermath on camera will get to the identity.
I hate when people act like that. I hate when people say shit like that and be sarcastic about stuff like that. Bro, whatever offends me might not offend you, you fucking asshole. If it makes sense, so check this out. Whatever your history or whatever your people history or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? And you tell me that, I'm not going to blatantly diss or disrespect that. You know what I'm saying? And then if I do, on some be sarcastic and be, you know what I'm saying? And be, you know, and try to be funny about it. I'm not going to do that. But that's the difference between real motherfuckers and fake motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Genuine people, solid men and non-solid men. That's the difference. Let's go.
Of that individual in a second. Go to the woman on and said, what did you just say to that child? Did you just call that child the N-word? And he recorded the whole thing, and the woman repeated what she said to this allegedly autistic 5-year-old child, gave the middle finger to the cameraman. If you haven't seen the video, this is the video. I am reluctant to show it. I'm obviously going to bleep out the word, but you need to see this in order to understand the context and what is, in retrospect, very suspicious about the context.
You call him
But see, I don't like, that's why I don't, you know, I'm just playing this because he pointed out that he thought it was a psyop, and I also said the same thing, and he has evidence. That's why I'm playing it, to support my theory. But I'm not gonna play too much of this video, and I can't stand people like this. This fool got 643,000 followers, and they're not really gonna break it down, and they're gonna be not gonna be sympathetic and empathetic towards the most unholy word in the, not gonna be sympathetic and empathetic towards black people or what disrespects black people, because he don't care. But and he thinks the same way. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you want to be sarcastic about it, right? But and then you want to break down the fact that it's a psyop, but don't want to break down the fact that this has real consequences from it. There's real emotions and there's real feelings about this shit, though. It may be a psyop, wherever the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? Which I already said it was. But the perception is real, though. Let's go.
the child? Did you call the child the N-word? It is my own business. You call him Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again?
Fuck you.
Employers see tons of resumes every day and don't have time to carefully review them all, which means that...
Come on.
Okay. All right, that's what you say.
You don't go digging through people's shit, you dumb fuck.
Nobody digging into your shit.
A little fucking kid just did, you dumbass.
That little kid, you call him the little child?
What if he acts like one, he's gonna...
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old and the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech. And you can be recorded.
How come the guy didn't bleep out? And see, that's scandalous. You know, you're gonna play this video and you're gonna commentate on it, and you don't even bleep out the kid. You know, even if it's a psyop or not, you're still not gonna bleep out the kids. That's weird. That's a minor. You're not gonna bleep out his face.
For that.
That says a lot what we did on it.
Fuck off.
Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
So that is the video, and my first reaction.
Fair use, by the way, fair use. Under the Copyright Act 1976, Section 107, this allowance is made to report on this video for commentary and educational purposes. And And to prove insensitive people like this shouldn't even be reporting on this shit, really. But let's go.
Is that there is something seriously mentally unstable about this woman. Forget about any of the racial element of this. To berate a 5-year-old child for allegedly taking something out of your handbag for your 18-month-old son, there has to be something seriously wrong with you. To refer to that 5-year-old allegedly autistic child by a racial epithet, there needs to be something seriously wrong with you. But to repeat that to the man who was recording it, there has to be something seriously wrong with you. Or I dare say, as will be an alternate narrative to this story, maybe the two of them are in on it together. We'll get to that in a second. This is the man who was recording the video. Rochester men charged with raping teen earlier this year. Sharmak Bailey
What does any of this have to do with anything? Let's go.
Omar, 29, and Muhammad Hussein Omar, 41, both of Rochester, are facing felony charges related to the rape and sexual assault of a 16-year-old female earlier this year. And Sharmak Bail Omar, the man on the right, was the man recording this incident. Sharmak Bail Omar is a Somali man who was wanted on some very serious
Somali, they're not Ethiopian
charges, and if you wanted to follow up on the charges that he was facing, those charges were dropped, quote, in the interest of justice. And if you have difficulty believing that, here's the actual court document dismissing those charges in the interest of justice. State of Minnesota plaintiff versus Sharmak Bail.
Like, what's his name? Look a little more like Indian, like some kind of not dark, like a darker skin tone, a little bit Indians. The Somalis and the Ethiopians look more like they could look like they could be Arab a little bit. Like more of a, I see the difference. I see the difference.
Omar, defendant, pursuant to Rule 30.01 of Minnesota Rules of Criminal Procedure, the state of Minnesota hereby dismisses the complaint in the above entitled action dated February 7, 2022, charging the offenses of criminal sexual conduct, third-degree penetration under 18, use, coercion, criminal sex, conditional, fifth degree, non-consensual sexual contact for the following reasons in the interest of justice. Dated March 14, 2025, Joseph K. Roshold, Managing Attorney, Criminal Division. Now, it's not clear what Omar was doing in this playground. It's not clear if he had a kid there, given these charges against him, which were dismissed in the interest of...
What I think is, well, if they was dismissed, motherfucker, come on, man. Why it was got to be a conspiracy to somebody dismissing some charges, bro? Or get some charges dismissed, bro? Why is it never, when it's us, why is it never, you know what? Motherfucker didn't do it. A little undertone of these people. So it's crazy. Let's go.
Of justice, it becomes a little bit more peculiar as to why he was there in the first place. But appreciate then that Shilloh was saying this to Omar, to his face, repeating the N-word repeatedly while giving him the middle finger, somehow feeling assured or at least not caring about what potential immediate repercussions she could face at the hands of this man who she may not have known that he was charged with what he was charged with, but she said it to this man's face. Okay, something doesn't make sense there a little bit, but let's just get to the essence of the story, which is that after this video was uploaded to the internet by Omar, this woman started facing harassment, doxing, death threats, etc., and started a Give, Send, Go crowd funding to help her protect her and her family. That Give, Send, Go was initially set at $100,000 from what I...
Where's the proof that she got death threats? There's no proof, right?
Recall.
We just got to go by the white woman's word. You know what I'm saying? We just got to go by her word. You know what I'm saying? And it was her word is for show bond.
It quickly reached that threshold. She upped it to $250,000, give or take. It quickly reached that threshold. She upped it to $1 million. And guess what that Give, Send, Go campaign?
That was mad suspicious too when she kept doing that. But see, I mean, in a real, if this is whatever the case is, you know what I'm saying? Looking at it from this perspective, she knew she could do it. She knows these suckers. And if this is a psyop, you know what I'm saying? That there's a bunch of suckers. And there's a bunch of people that look like her, man, that feel the same way as her, man. They look funny looking like her, you know, and they think funny like her.
Is at right now well over $500,000. Now, there are multiple narratives, sometimes countervailing, sometimes contradicting narratives that this is somehow blowback from the Carmelo Anthony Give, Send, Go fundraiser crowdfunding, where Carmelo Anthony, after having stabbed to death Austin Metcalf, raised well over $500,000 that his family apparently was using to buy a new car, a new home, and bling for Carmelo Anthony, a man who I believe committed murder against Austin Metcalf. A part of the internet is saying if that alleged murderer can raise over $500,000 after having stabbed a child to death, well, this woman can raise $500,000 for saying the N-word. I'm not particularly convinced by that narrative, although I do appreciate that is at least some of the sentiment behind some of the donations to this campaign. Others are saying that in as much as the Carmelo Anthony fundraiser was a big middle finger from Black America to white America, so too, correlatively, was this a middle finger to Black America from white America. Others are saying, based on the donations, that this is one big psyop to drive a race war in America. And if some of you are inclined...
I hate when people say that. To drive a race war, bro. This is all I gotta say right now about that. When the police see a white motherfucker, unless he looks like a tweaker, which a lot of them do, you know what I'm saying? So they're not gonna look at him twice. When a police sees a black person somewhere that doesn't even have nothing to do with any crime scene, or doesn't, they could both be buying pizza or buying some, being a fast food place or something, and the motherfucking police still gonna be looking at you crazy. Like, excuse me, that's the race war. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the race war. Police jam you up in a certain part of town. What are you doing in this part of town? Is that not a race war? What do y'all think about that? Police telling you, what are you doing over here in this part of town? What you doing over here in this part of town? Really weird to say to somebody. What you mean, what am I doing in this? But see, that's how you know there's still segregation. That makes sense.
Trying to think that I'm totally crazy, gone off the deep end, tinfoil.
People say, oh, to make the race war, dude. Motherfuckers don't like each other already, man. And motherfuckers, you know what motherfuckers got in common? Not liking us, bro. Do I gotta, I mean, come on. Do I gotta, you know? What we talking about here?
Had conspiracy theory in thinking possibly that this was a conspiracy between Shilloh and Omar. I remind you of the Johnny Bobbitt, Caitlin McClure, Mark D'Amico GoFundMe scam that occurred a few years ago, where they worked together to raise over $400,000.
Sentenced this afternoon to 3 years behind bars for her role in that so-called GoFundMe scandal. She pleaded guilty to one charge of theft by deception back in April 2019. She's already serving time right now after pleading guilty to federal charges and being sentenced to 1 year for those. Both sentences will run concurrently. McClure, Mark D'Amico, and Johnny Bobbitt swindled some 14,000 donors out of $400,000 after making up a story that a homeless Bobbitt gave his last $20 to McClure after she had run out of gas.
Set that aside. If you don't think that these donations are somewhat suspicious,
you know what? One thing I do agree with him about, I was thinking that same thing. Didn't I just say that a little while earlier? It's weird how it just, I was thinking that too. Like, it was weird because everybody was pointing at three. I'm not kidding you. From yesterday and even like the day before that, everybody was reporting at 300 and something thousand. Don't you know? I watched, shout out to Red Supreme. I was watching his channel. They was like, well, shit, nah, it's up to 500 something thousand now. Like, damn. In a matter of like 2 days, it went up to 200 something thousand. Very suspicious. I was thinking the same thing. How did it just jump? I mean, don't get me wrong. White people do support other white people now. Don't let's not get it twisted. I'm just thinking that was kind of weird, but I'm not putting nothing past it. I can't put nothing past it because they. But I mean, it could be. Look, I'm gonna say it. Look like old boy just said it. Don't be. I agree with him right there. That was weird how it just jumped up like that. The numbers, man, fast. I mean, the GoFundMe's really be doing that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they knew each other because you know what was weird. Now I think about it, what's weird, they said that she's with a black dude. It might, you never know. I don't know, dude. And it looked low key, from what I heard, he was an immigrant. So you know what? I'm gonna say it right here now on this channel. Don't be surprised if this is a psyop and if this is fake. I mean, not even just a psyop, because it's a psyop off the back. But if this is a false flag stage, don't be surprised if the dude she with is related or knows the dude that had the camera. Bam! The dude that was narrating, right? Oh, what are you doing? You go. Don't be surprised if they're not related. The dude she's with and them. Don't be surprised.
Let me show you a brief list of the donations, starting with a $10,000 anonymous donation to Shilloh Hendrix. $10,000 USD.
Yeah, I see what he's saying. That's quick.
Anonymous. 2025 USD. Anonymous. Anonymous giver, $2,004. Anonymous giver, $2,003. Anonymous giver, $2,002, and so on. You get the pattern here. I think it's pretty.
I mean, that don't mean nothing just because that is kind of. I see what he's saying though. That's kind of weird. But at the same time, you never know, man. Okay, put it like this. That kind of would make sense though, because people, you mess around and put a name, you know what I'm saying? You put your name out there, you're liable for somebody to search that name, and you mess around, liable for somebody to find out where you live and where your job is. So, but I see what he's saying. I'm looking at it from both angles. I see what he's saying though. He got
pretty safe to
he's on to something.
Say that with political campaigns, especially highly divisive political campaigns such as this one, a lot of people are going to be inclined to donate anonymously. And I know how Give, Send, Go works. They have the info on the donor, so it's not like it could possibly be some sort of mass Act Blue type money laundering scheme, but this is somewhat suspicious. And tomorrow, as at the time of shooting this vlog, Jacob Wells, the CEO of Give, Send, Go, is going to come on for our Sunday night Viva and Barnes Law.
So this is not GoFundMe. This is Give, Send, Go
extravaganza introduction to explain a little bit of what's going on in as much as he can answer the questions publicly, so tune in for that. But something about this entire story doesn't really add up. You got Omar in a playground, apparently without a child, who himself was facing charges involving a minor, recording Shilloh, who didn't really hesitate before dropping the hard R N-word. Maybe she felt empowered by the fact that she was holding her child and that no one would punch her in the face because she's holding a child, or maybe she just has no problem using the word for reasons that one can only surmise. That
most of y'all don't got the problem using that word. Stop it, man. And then y'all be like, oh, you guys don't have problems using the word, dude. Why can't we use it, dude?
Being said, people on the internet came across a photo from a Facebook post, something like from 15 years ago, of what appears to be Shilloh kissing a black man. So she might have been thinking that she's entitled to use the word given her history.
Also, that was 15 years ago. Okay. Still, though, still, you never know, but okay, that was 15 years ago. How did that come up now? Okay.
Of relationships or something along those lines. I have no idea what is going on in this story.
Olive oil built fast. Built like a totem pole.
I just know that something really doesn't add up, although something does add up to $569,000 worth of donations. Now, some of you are going to say, Viva, you're crazy. This could not have been a coordinated conspiracy between Shilloh and Omar, because they would have had no way of knowing that it would raise quite this much money. Maybe, but maybe not. Maybe they knew darn well that at the very least it would be nothing, or at the very best it would be something like this, and we'll see where this money goes. We'll see if there's any fighting among the players in this. Thus far, Shilloh has apparently gone into hiding. She's posted an update to the Give, Send, Go, which reads as follows. Update May 2nd, 2025. Hello, where do I even begin? The overwhelming support that my family and myself have received is unbelievable. I've never felt so scared yet reassured in my life. It's truly a whirlwind of emotions. We are currently doing okay. No one has been harmed, and we are getting by. We are taking the proper procedures in order to stay safe from these constant threats. I'm still very frightened and don't think I will feel safe until we can escape completely. I am so grateful to all of you who have donated to my family. I would never have imagined that we would be supported to such an extreme. It still feels as if it's too good to be true and it's all going to disappear. It's such a strange feeling to be living in a blissful dream and a nightmare simultaneously.
The way she's talking, kind of okay. A dream, what do you mean a dream, man? Because motherfuckers giving you money because they feel the way you do. Yeah, the word she's using is kind of suspicious, man.
Thank you all for your continuous support and love. We have to keep fighting for the safety of all our families, not just mine, Shilloh. Oh, and by the way, if you've made it this far into the video and you haven't liked, shared, subscribed, given a thumb.
Wasn't bad. You know what? Shout out to Viva Fred. That wasn't too bad commentary. That was pretty. That's pretty good, man. That's a good angle right there. If you think about it. He has some pretty credible things, man. I was thinking the same thing. How the GoFundMe went up so quick. You know what I'm saying? There was a couple of different little angles he came from. How the anonymous, a lot of those were anonymous, man. But I mean, like, you don't want. Of course, a lot of times you're gonna put anonymous, man. You saying you donated for something like that? You don't want people to have access to your name and find out, you know what I'm saying, where you work and shit. All right, so okay, we seen there, what's the name? Let's go to Tatum. No, how do you say Hodge? Oh, goofy looking motherfuckers. All right. These goofies right here. Straight doofy motherfuckers. Let's go. Doofiest motherfuckers on the internet. Hey, Sample.
Future looks like
Scotty Samuel's cake.
it's coming up right now.
Yeah, got a show for you. Got a damn good show. All right, so this white.
Look how doofy and goofy these dudes are, man. I don't see how cats listen to these so-called black, but I get it though. I guess you know what I'm saying, boule or whatever. You know what I'm saying. It's a society that you're a part of and shit. Ass kissing society that you're part of. I get it. Of course, you're gonna listen to bullshit like this. So and bullshit motherfuckers like this. So shout out. I mean, well, nah. So okay, let me play this real quick. These are the Hodge twins. You know what I mean? Let me play their commentary and their coonery and buffoonery. All right.
Woman is going viral because she said the dreaded N-word. If you want to, that's easy for a white person to go viral. Yeah, all you gotta do is say the N-word. Because that white privilege, they just use that N-word. Yeah, you're going viral. Right. So, just to give y'all an idea of what's going on, supposedly this black kid there at the park, the black kid was rummaging through her stuff. Yeah. So she goes off on the black kid. I mean, you see a black kid going through your stuff and your wife. The first thing that's going to come to your head like N-word. So let's check this out.
Did you call him the child? Did you call the child the N-word? It is my own business. You call him an. Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay. All right. That's
she called your bluff, man. She called your bluff. She just.
Oh, you know, we got some bullshit weak commentary, and the only way we get millions and thousands of dollars off YouTube is to coon and kiss the white man's ass. And we do it so much. There's two of us. 2 times the coonery and buffoonery. These dudes is goofy, bro. Doofiest goofies, man. But see, I get it. They're mixing shit. I get it though, dude. They mix. So let's go. So I can. It's like you know what I'm saying. A lot of people think since they mix, there's a subtract, add and subtract feature that they got. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I got to add and subtract feature. You know what I'm saying? When it fits me and suit fits me, I can add on the black. And when it don't, you know what I'm saying? When I gotta mix in and mix and match, you know what I'm saying? I got the subtract feature to where I can just subtract the black.
He said it once. She said it like what, 3? Well, he did ask. Yeah, you asked her to say it, and white woman obliged. Okay.
What you say?
You don't go digging through people.
Somebody dig into your shit.
A little kid just did, you dumbass.
That little kid, you call him a nigga?
Yeah.
The little child?
What if he acts like one? He's gonna.
Are you about to hit him? You chasing him?
He took my son.
My thing is, how didn't they?
Stop.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old.
How did he know he was talking about? She was talking about. I don't know.
If that's what.
That's the only black kid though, or Somali kid.
He's gonna act.
That's what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know that's a hate speech, and you can be recorded for that.
I don't give a shit.
Huh. Okay, we'll see about that. What the internet has to say about you.
Now, there's some people saying that the kid actually has autism that was digging through the bag, the black kid. Yeah. Now, my kid is autistic. And like, if I'm drinking a soda from a can and I'm just sitting in my kitchen and I put it down and I look away, he'll come up and grab it and just walk away with it and drink it as if it's his. He does this in public too. So when I go out in public, I have to keep an eye on him because no matter how many times I tell him that's not his, he still does it. So if that's what started this whole thing, I can understand why it happened because the kid's autistic. Yeah, but I mean.
Then how simple? So it's funny. That's crazy because your brother actually, you're not even gonna be sympathetic and empathetic to your own brother's autistic kid, and have some. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, shit, yeah. Oh, that's what they do. Okay, well, yeah. That's not, shoot. You know what I'm saying? And she shouldn't be saying it to the kid anyway. Look at how doofy and goofy these people. Man, these dudes, man. Anybody that watched them, that look, man, even white motherfuckers that watch. But see, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm white. I watch them. They say and do all types of buffoonery shit that I can't say and do in public. I get it. I'm gonna watch them too. They're saying and doing the exact things that I fucking think. They're feeling and they're saying what I feel.
I don't know how true that is. Yeah, I know. I don't know how true that is. Yeah, especially when it's coming from, you know what they said about Carmelo Anthony. Oh, it's not a knife. It was a cleat sharpener. Oh, it's self-defense. Black people lie like crazy. Right. Black people have a great imagination when it comes to lying. When they're getting handcuffed, they came up with the phrase, I didn't do nothing. Right. I can't breathe. So you can't really trust the source of that kid having autism. But I would understand why this happened if the kid did have autism. Yeah. But I'm not in that. I'm not. Like if I see an adult behaving or robbing somebody, a black adult, I mean, I would understand why a white person would use that word, but
bro, I don't like people like, you know what I'm saying? People like this are full of shit, and it's crazy because these are grown ass men talking like, oh, well, I can see, well, you know, there was a grown man was stealing, grown black man was stealing. I can see why they use that word too. What? So you give that word a pass. So it's okay for. But see, the thing is, if she or whoever was to call that grown man the N-word, and if he park her, you know what I'm saying? If he park him right then and there, then it's gonna be why is it gonna be the black dude's fault?
Yeah, something like grape or robbing them. Yeah, something heinous. Unalive by all means, use the unalive one of your family members. Yeah. That word makes a lot of sense, but you gotta be an adult. That's still a child. Well, Kevin, this is the thing. There's a lot of black fatigue going on. I know. Look, we have black fatigue, and we're black. Now imagine being white with black fatigue. Yeah, I know. Black rappers make millions of dollars just saying this word repeatedly, and black people call each other that repeatedly. I don't deny. Yeah.
But you know what? All these different races call it in-house. They call each other. Those slurs or those derogatory slurs that another race couldn't call them, they call themselves that. They go and address each other like that. You see what I'm saying? So it's really the same thing as us saying it, you know, with the A at it. You know what I'm saying? It's really the same thing. Italians they call themselves derogatory terms. You know what I'm saying? Hispanics call themselves derogatory terms in-house. So I mean, what's the difference? But see, nobody looks at it like that, though. Just, oh, my black on black crime. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Sure, black on black crime, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to use that term. Us killing each other is not good. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, everybody kills where they live. More white people kill more white people than anybody else. More Asians kill more Asians than anybody else. It's that simple.
So she's being doxxed and her life is over. But they're trying to ruin her life. She started a give me, what is it? Give and go. She's got a goal of $1 million. She's raised over $359,000. Now, this is the black fatigue effect. If what's happening with Carmelo Anthony, so much money raised. Right. If there's no Carmelo Anthony happening right now, I don't think she gets that money. She doesn't get that amount of money. It's black fatigue is what's going on here. Yeah. If Carmelo Anthony can raise $500,000 and he unalive a defenseless child, then, you know, I understand why. At a track meet, now I understand why she's raising so much money. It's because of
the unalive defenseless child. Like, so they weren't the same age? Carmelo and Austin weren't the same age, right? Okay. Right.
That Carmelo Anthony effect and the black fatigue.
If you're
what does any of this have to do with any of that?
Web designer, here are 4 studio features you gotta know.
People will talk and hit you with those talking points and show you some stuff. They didn't know that they're passing.
I mean, I don't condone what she did over and over. It's just childish, but yeah. Calling a child that's I mean, she said it. I think she just gave it to him one good time. But then the black guy comes up and says, "Hey, I'm not even mad at her for saying it to the black guy because you asked her to say it." So, and she, you know, but I don't condone her calling a child that. You know,
she could call a grown man. See, Yeah, these dudes is goofy, man. So let's go to Tatum. I'm back home. My bad. All right, let's go to Tatum, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to how you. Okay, Tatum. I don't never watch. None of these dudes is corny. I never even when Biden was in here, I didn't watch none of these motherfuckers. Just goofy, you know what I mean? You see this shit pop up. Hold on. Hold on. Why is this, what's the name not coming up? This dude is so cool. Name looking. Dude from 8 Mile looking ass motherfucker. All right, so hold up. Look how doofy this dude is, man. I watches this dude. Okay. Goofy
Strategies. You call him a child?
Fair use, fair
Did you
use.
call the child? It is my own business. You call him.
But what I do see, and that most people ain't gonna tell you, is that white folks are sick of black people. Black people have cried wolf so many times that now they just sick of it. Synergy is actually live. It's 5 years in the making, 3 years in formulation, and I don't even know how to, I'm like in shock that we finally got it. Calls black child racial slur, now seeking donations. Pull Becky up here. Now, let's talk about the microcosm here. The reason that this woman, and you'll see after I play the video, the reason that this woman, no, let me start with this because people gonna get mad at me for starting there. I'm gonna start here and I'm gonna go back there. First of all, it is absolutely abhorrent for an adult to call a kid a name anyway. I don't care what name you call a kid. You so silly that you're gonna call a kid a name, a little bitty kid, 8-year-old, 10-year-old, maybe, and you grown calling a kid a name. I don't care what name you call him. You so upset you call a kid a derogatory name. You silly. You can't be serious. You can't be serious. Now, with that being said, and I do not support her calling this kid any name, especially not the name that you're gonna find out that she called him, a little black kid. You know where this is going. But I do see, and I would never support this GoFundMe either. That's silly. But what I do see, and that most people ain't gonna tell you, is that white folks are sick of black people. Black people have cried.
Wow. So how are they sick of us? Huh? They sick of us, but they shooting up the schools, right? How are they sick of us? They shooting up the schools and the churches, and how does that work? We sick of them. How does that work? How are they sick of us? So you talking about the people that did Jim Crow lynching? You know what I'm saying? The people that orchestrated that hate us. Isn't it the other way around? Look at how much of a coon this dude is. Like, just corny, just deflection, no real, you know what I'm saying? As a man, no real commentary, like no real commentary. Everything is just deflection. Everything is just, you know what I'm saying, deflection and on us black people, you know what I'm saying, versus them. Really weird. You know what I'm saying? Really weird. It's like, huh? Because that's all you're gonna do is deflect. It's weird, man. No accountability,
so many times
lies
that now they just sick of it. And therefore, a person like this that do what you see her do can raise this much money. It's almost like an indictment. It's like y'all cry wolf every day, every time somebody say the word, and y'all call each other the word every day, and then y'all trying to get this woman fired or whatever they doing for her. And now look at they didn't raise money for her. All right, roll the clip.
Well, you know what the crazy thing about it is? It was a white dude that put her information out there, though. It was a white guy. Damn. These dudes, motherfuckers just be saying shit. Just, you know what I mean? No, just nothing to back they source of their story, just be saying shit.
You call him a child?
The fuck you talking
Did you
about?
call the child?
None of your fucking business.
It is my own business. You call him? Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again?
Fuck you, sir.
Okay. All right, that's what you say.
You don't go digging through people's shit, you dumb fuck.
Nobody digging to you.
A little kid just did, you dumb.
A little kid, you call him?
Yeah.
The little child?
What if he acts like one is gonna?
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act.
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act.
Why they not bleeping out the?
Like.
You know that's a hate speech, and you can be recorded for that.
I don't give a shit.
It's kind of weird.
Huh. Okay, we'll see about that. What the internet has to say about you.
Get the confidence of knowing you have a mistake-free resume during your job search. With help from America's best resource for job seekers. Quickly choose a professionally designed template with one click. Then,
so keep it on the screen. So this is what I want to say about this. White people feel, I'm not saying every white person, y'all. Every time I say white people, black people, clearly, y'all, I'm not talking about every person. I'm giving a generic stance on it. I think white people feel like her. This little kid is stealing. I'm sick of these kids that don't have good parenting and they stealing stuff and doing this and they acting like ends. And if I feel like they acting like ends, I should be able to say it. Just like if a black person feel like they acting like an end, he should be able to say it.
What if somebody called his bitch ass an end? In real life, you know what I'm saying? Would he be feeling this dude? I don't like how people are just numb. I don't like people like this. People like this is fake. This is a fake dude right here. Fake as hell. You know what I'm saying? You're getting your likes, views, and clicks, you know what I'm saying, to appease, you know what I'm saying, the white community, because you're basically saying stuff that they feel they can't say. They're basically, you know what I'm saying, talking through you. That's all it is. And talking bad about and smack about black people. Negative, it's just negative connotation, stereotype. That's how I take it. It's just stereotypes.
And so all this virtue signaling around a word that black people just blow out of proportion, I'm over it. F off, put me on the internet. And that's what I think this woman had done. I do not think it makes sense for somebody to call a kid any name. But the N-word has, to me, it has lost its luster. It has zero power. For some reason, if you want to be a victim, it now acts.
Want to be a victim. Let's just keep it 100, right? I don't give a fuck power or none of that shit. I kind of see what he's trying to say, but at the same time, bro, nobody got the right to disrespect you. It's words too. I'm a real type of dude because I'm in the street kind of person to where if a dude try to put his hands on me, then it's a wrap. Then I'm going on. Then I'm putting my hands. But other than that, you know, words are just words. But I can see if he said something like that, oh man, you know, this and that. But you know, the same, bro, they don't give nobody the right and the okay to fucking, they don't give a fuck how you trying to make it and bounce, rock, roll, escape, try to make it, flip it. You see what I'm saying? Motherfuckers don't have the right to disrespect you in public with saying anything to you, bro. Period. They don't know you. You don't know them. Like, this dude right here is just, you could tell he's a pussy. That's a pussy type motherfucker here. He probably, you know, you've been a cop and shit. You probably never been through nothing real, like, you know what I'm saying? On some not when he wasn't a cop type shit. That's the only time he had some action in the streets. Probably really had a fucking street fight is when he was a fucking cop. You could just pussy type dude. You know what I'm saying? A dude, this is the kind of dude, if he knew somebody, another so-called black person was getting into it with somebody white or two white dudes or something like that, he would not jump in. He would just stand right there, you know what I'm saying? And let that person get beat up. You know, people like that, you know what I'm saying? You so with that white, you know what I'm saying? I think some of these, maybe a couple of them maybe don't even believe the bullshit that they saying. But I think most of these motherfuckers really think like this. You see what I'm saying? Because life worked out or looked this way for you and it didn't, or whatever the fuck you think you, or whatever kind of entitlements that you think you had or had. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. Right?
Activates to having power. And that's why I would never feel sorry for, or there's no justification for a black person responding to the N-word no different than they respond to any other word. And it's even worse when black people get mad about the N-word. When I saw this and the lady called a kid an N, her calling him an N is irrelevant to me. What's relevant is that the fact that she called a kid a name in the first place, the fact that she may have said something derogatory towards a kid in the first place is the problem. Now, I don't know where that kid parents at, because she doing all this and nobody came forward to claim this kid. I don't know if that lady down the road is babysitting the kid. I don't know what's actually happening here. But what I will say is that y'all can't get mad at that word no more, because every hip hop song.
Oh my God. People like this, man. Put it like this. You know what it be? It be disrespect. Motherfuckers don't like disrespect, and motherfuckers really don't have to take disrespect from people they don't know. So therefore, you break a motherfucker ass and break a motherfucker down, and you straight, you good. You don't gotta take disrespect from motherfuckers you don't know. How does that work? It don't work like that. It's disrespect, bro. You know what I'm saying? Period. You call, running up on somebody, calling somebody, that period is disrespect. That's what people are mad and pissed off about, is the disrespect from motherfuckers they don't even know. Like, oh, it's just the word, y'all use it in these lyrics, this and that. Just like white people call each other peckerwoods, bro. Let's just keep it real. Wasn't that a derogatory racist term? Let's just keep it funky, man. Come on, man. People like this ain't gonna really break it down. They gonna bull. This dude is fake, man. With that whack ass hat on, man.
Saying N. I put my life on it. Every single time that black people are talking, generally speaking, if you listen to them for 10 minutes, the N-word is going to come up in that sentence, in that conversation. They cuss each other out with the N-word. They cuss white people out with the N-word. They cuss their dogs out with the N-word. They call each other the N-word. They call each other the N-word when it's your friend, when it's your enemy, when you go into prison, when you're falling in love. They just N. Let a white person, now Samoan people can say it, Mexican people can say it, Arabian people.
No, not in every case, no. Certain motherfuckers checking them straight up, especially if I don't know you. And you talk about they can say it, but they call each other that though, dude. What are you talking about? They calling each other that. You don't think that's a difference between them calling you that and they calling each other that, or no? It's not good in any way, but like dudes like this is just corny, man.
Anybody brown can say the N-word. Black people ain't hurt about that. They can say it friendly or derogatory.
Are we brown?
But generally speaking, they get a pass. Let a white person rap to a song, and it's racism. Can't even rap the song. Can't even rap. Or you could buy VIP tickets. You can make the person a platinum artist. You can do all that.
So, dude basically just deflected, you know what I'm saying? And it nothing, you notice he didn't criticize the white community. He didn't criticize, but he made it about black people. So, it's crazy. You the victim, but they're gonna make it about you. They're gonna make it's interesting how that works. I don't know, no motherfucking sense. All right, man. So let me get on to another story real quick, man. Another topic, man. I'm on it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Burkina Faso, man, he been doing a lot of stuff too, man. You know what I'm saying? Hold up. Let me see. When I do this. Let me see. Damn. Oh shit, my bad. Hold up, y'all. Oh my bad. Let's get into this mass shooting, man. All right, so So we had one. Is a couple mass shootings, right? My bad. I gotta expose these real quick. You know what I'm saying? And it was just one the other day. It was like 2 of them. All right. So let's get into it, man. Another one the other day. Let me try to find that one too, man.
Seconds, it can tell you if you qualify for a major settlement like this check right here. Now,
we continue to follow breaking news out of Houston, Texas. This is a live look right here of the downtown skyline as at least one person was killed when up to 14 people were shot at a party in Houston earlier this morning. That's according to police. And I did want to bring you some new video from that scene as we just received it right here. You're taking a look at this scene video as there is a heavy police response following that shooting. Houston police began receiving calls reporting shots fired at around 12:50 a.m. local time at the 6000 block of Cherry Hill. That's in Southeast Houston. That is according to the assistant chief. She says that officers arrived at the scene just a few moments later and saw multiple people wounded in various locations around the home. And take a look at this. You can just see how large that response was with people getting transported by ambulance right there. Family party taking place when an uninvited guest, that's according to the assistant chief, was asked to leave the home. That person then believed to have started shooting, which prompted return fire from others. The fire department responded and at least one person was confirmed dead. Multiple people were in critical condition and in surgery. And some of those victims also transported themselves to area hospital.
Does that sound right? So you got hit with injured in shooting, and you're gonna drive yourself to the hospital? So where was the ambulances at? Let's play that again.
There, family party taking place when an uninvited guest, that's according to the assistant chief, was asked to leave the home. That person then believed to have started shooting, which prompted return fire from others. The fire department responded and at least one person was confirmed dead. Multiple people were in critical condition and in surgery. And some of those victims also transported themselves to area hospitals. Police did detain multiple people, but were not immediately certain if they had the shooting suspect in custody as the investigation continues this morning. This is a look at that heavy response right there. You can see ambulances and crime scene tape. This was a family house party. And earlier this morning, police did provide just a brief update, and I did want to play that out for you right now.
At 0050 hours, calls were dropping at the 6000 block of Cherry Hill of multiple shootings, multiple injuries. Officers arrived at the scene 3 minutes right after the call. As they were arriving, they were still hearing gunshots and the scene injuries. Officers arrived at the scene 3 minutes right after the call. As they were arriving,
once again, they always got to hit you with that 3, baby. Come on, man. Y'all don't think that's kind of weird? It's always they always hit us with the number 3. Okay.
They were still hearing gunshots and the scene was still very much active. Upon arrival, they started seeing people injured in various locations surrounding a residence. They started creating the plan. Officers started arriving again, created a plan to come to the Jack in the Box to start bringing various persons that were injured. HFD started arriving, started tending to the injured. Also, people were continuing to call shootings at the.
Why is she smiling though? Can anybody answer me that question? Why does she have a smile on her face? Why?
Around the area.
It's supposed to be a serious situation where motherfuckers got shot.
Yeah. Once again, we had multiple injuries, a total of 14. About 3 of them were transported here.
Hit you with the 3 again, baby. Hit you with the 3 one more time. 3 of them was transferred over here. 3 minutes. Like, okay.
Here,
Psyop.
officers started working on them. HFD arrived. People started self-reporting to hospitals on their.
Y'all believe that? Y'all really believe that motherfuckers gonna be driving? So let me get this straight. Motherfuckers, you got shot wherever you got shot or hurt, wherever injured, and you're gonna drive yourself to the hospital. Okay, right. So where was the ambulances at? Or was there ambulance? These shootings be very suspicious, man. I'm telling you. They keep hitting you with these mass shootings. It's like, okay.
Their own arriving with injuries. We have one that we know of that is deceased. We have multiple in critical condition in surgery. And we have a few that are just, they're in stable conditions. I do want to add here that this whole incident started as a party, a family party, a family gathering. I believe some of the witnesses are saying they had an uninvited guest. The uninvited guest was asked to leave. He left. As he was leaving, he began shooting in the area. There was return fire from the residents as well. Once again, the person that did this was uninvited, was asked to leave, and began the incident of the gunfire. Once again, we have multiple people detained for information, may or may not be the suspect.
What? How do you not know who the fuck did it, man? What do you mean, bro? So now all of a sudden you don't know who. So you basically broke down what he did in the whole bulletin and the whole breakdown, the whole blueprint, and then all of a sudden you don't know who he is out of other people at the party. Come on, man. Hey, I don't honestly. This sounds like some BS, man. This sounds like some BS. How do you not know who the suspect is, man? Nobody pointed the person out and said, "Nah, that's the suspect." Does this even make sense?
Again, we have multiple people detained for information, may or may not be the suspect. This scene
doesn't make any sense. And was it one person? How many people was it that did this shit? One person or what? You said it was one uninvited guest. I'm confused. Y'all, honestly, this shit makes you confused. Like what?
Evolving. Once again, we have several scenes right now working the house, the Jack in the Box, and once again, we have people that self-transported that may have evidence in their vehicles. We would like them to contact the police department to make sure that if it wasn't one of the 14 that we have right now, to contact Homicide 713-308-3600 or to call our Crime Stoppers tips 713-222-TIPS 5237. This scene is ongoing. It's still very complicated. It was chaotic from the get-go.
She's smiling once again.
Getting here, the officers did a great.
All right, man. Let me go to the other one. I just broke down how this is a psyop. All right, so let me see. The one in Minneapolis. Oh, come on, dude. And right here it says 1 dead and 13 injured. There we go with that 13. Let's play this real quick. That 13
million plus revenue? Look, you're running a high revenue business. Why aren't you using the same tax strategy?
Breaking news.
Thank you for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Brittany Jeffers. We do want to get straight to that breaking news that we first brought to you during our 6 a.m. newscast. Houston police tell us that 1 person is dead and 14 others hurt following a shooting at a home in Southeast Houston. Our Ricky Munoz has been at this scene for hours near Cherry Hill Avenue, working to gather information. Now, Ricky, we understand within the last hour you spoke with witnesses who say they were at that party. Very difficult scene out there.
Yes, Brittany, you're right. I was able to speak to multiple people and they didn't want to get on camera. But before we get into all of that, let me show you real quick. It's still a very active scene. Let us zoom in a little bit. Cops are still here. Tape is taped off. This entire neighborhood from where the house, where the shooting happened to this Jack in the Box, it's still a very active scene. 14 people were shot. 1 person is dead. I was able to speak to people who were at that party. They did not want to be on camera. The men and women said it all started at that house They described the scene as crazy, and they even described the sounds of the shots, which one girl says she now feels traumatized. And another girl I was able to talk to, she also says that a bullet grazed her foot. She says she feels traumatized. And another girl I was able to talk to, she also says that a bullet grazed her foot. She says she's going to be okay. And again, they're not wanting to be on camera, but this is what I know so far. This all happened just before 1 a.m. off of Cherry Hill and 610 South. Houston police say they started getting calls about a shooting, and the officers got there within just minutes. As they arrived, they were still hearing gunshots nearby. Victims were found scattered, some outside the home, others in yards nearby. Officers found several people wounded in the Jack in the Box, which is down the street from that house.
That's not even one of the cross streets. Why show that? Loop? What's it all about? Are they running a loop? Are they putting us through a loop? Why did they show that? Loop. 610. That's not even one of the cross streets. They're running loops. This is the same loop, the same psyop. Running you for a loop. Does it make sense? Why are they showing that word loop? Interesting.
Houston Fire Department medics showed up soon after to treat the injured. Police say 14 people in total were hurt. 3 were taken to the hospital by ambulance. Others got there on their own. 1 person died. Several others are still in critical condition. Investigators believe it all started with an uninvited guest who was asked to leave the party, and allegedly he started shooting while walking away, or they started shooting while walking away. Police say someone at the party might have fired back. We did talk to a man whose girlfriend was at the party, and this is what he had to say. Take a listen.
They were just right there drinking, they were having fun, and out of nowhere, some people just heard gunshots, and they went down, and then they just heard somebody got killed. These days, everybody got a gun. Everybody. I be seeing 14-year-olds, 13-year-olds with guns. It's just crazy, honestly. You can't even have an argument with somebody, they pull out a gun on you. You can't even hawk at nobody, they pull a gun on you.
You know what? You know how you know they're full of it? Texas is an open carry state. What are they talking about? Oh, everybody has a gun. Done. It's an open carry state. Stupid. What? See, you can't run that with me. Mm-mm. 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 Can't run that with me. Let's go. Houston, Texas is an open carry state. So why would you say everybody has a gun when it's an open carry state? Does that make any sense? Everybody's allowed to have a gun, stupid. Man, these motherfuckers. PSYOP, that sound like a crisis actor to me. What does it sound like to you?
Brittany, and like you mentioned, it's still a very active investigation. We're waiting for police to kind of have us give us an update, and as soon as I do that, I'll keep you updated on air and online at clicktohouston.com. Reporting live in Southeast Houston, Ricky Munoz, KPRC 2 News.
Yeah, we know this is an active and evolving scene out there. Ricky, thank you for bringing us the latest.
In business, you only get one chance to make a great first impression.
All right. Very interesting. Let's go to this. I'm gonna go to another story right now.
Let's start things off by kind of bringing you up to speed on the very latest with the Minneapolis shootings. So a suspect is behind bars in one of those deadly shootings in Minneapolis, charged with several counts here, felony. So he was supposed to make his first court appearance this afternoon here in about an hour and a half. That has now been moved to Monday afternoon. We haven't really been given any reason why. And then the other big update here is that another victim did die last night. So that brings the total number of people who have died in that first shooting to 4. So let's talk a little bit about the arrest and give you some context here. It was just yesterday afternoon when police arrested the suspected gunman. It was in the Cedar Riverside neighborhood. He is 34-year-old James Ortley. And again, he's booked into Hennepin County. And since Tuesday, a total of 6 people in Minneapolis have been killed in 3 separate shootings. And to give you some context there, it's about twice as many homicides in just this 1 week.
Why did they keep? In these stories, I'm not lying. They'll either reference the number 3, like, you know what I'm saying, the amount of shootings, or there'll either be 3 suspects or 3 victims. That they always got to use 3 or 13, 33 in these stories. I'm not lying. Okay, that make you think, come on, dude. Why are these Masonic numbers?
Week period than in the previous 3 months combined. And police still working. It's very, very early on to figure out if
30, that's 33 right
then
there.
in the previous 3 months combined, it's about twice as many homicides in just this 1 week period than in the previous 3 months shootings. And Tuesday, a total of 6 people in Minneapolis have been killed in 3 separate shootings.
That's 3 right there, right?
And to give you some context there, it's about twice as many homicides in just this 1 week period than in the previous 3 months.
Why is 33, 13, or 3? Why is those numbers so significant in these stories? Why? I have to ask my own self this. Why? Why? Interesting.
Months combined, and police still working. It's very, very early on to figure out if any of these shootings in the last couple of days are connected. So who is James Ortley? What we know is he has a lengthy criminal history. He's currently being held on $2 million bond, and again, facing several charges. I'm going to actually go through the charging document here in a second, which we just got a short time ago, and it walks us through some of these details. But worth noting, he was actually arrested back in February of this year on probable cause for aggravated robbery and second-degree assault, but then he was released from jail just 2 days later, and the reason is because the 36-hour hold was allowed to expire before he was charged. So he was.
How come when it comes down to these immigrants and these other race people, there's always these loopholes and all this bullshit that makes it to where, you know what I'm saying, they could, either get away with something or get off with something or not be tried for something. But when it comes down to us, we're always held to the fullest extent of the fucking law. You notice that? Interesting. No matter if you're an immigrant or not.
He was set free at that point. Okay, so let's talk about some of the shootings here and just take you back a little bit because we do have some of this new information. In the case that involves James Ortley, we have 5 counts of second-degree murder so that's with intent, not premeditated. Each of those counts faces 40 years for those, and then there's a couple of other charges too. But I kind of want to run through what we're learning about what happened according to the charging documents that night. So it looks like, hang on one second as I kind of go through this a little bit more in real time here. Let's see. So officers arrived at this shooting, at reports of this shooting, and they observed that all 5 of the victims were suffering from acute gunshot wounds to the head, and they were either inside or outside the vehicle, and they were attempting life-saving measures. So victim 5, although suffering from serious
like James Bond or something. Damn, I mean, is this dude a sniper? I mean, is this dude a professional hitman? He hit everybody with a headshot. Wow.
serious gunshot wounds to the face, was conscious and able to communicate. So victim 5 was able to tell law enforcement that there was a single shooter and gave the street names, Baby J, Little James, and that he was a friend of victim 1. So we have victims 1 through 5. Victim 5 said that Little James was inside the vehicle with the victims and that he was sitting in the rear passenger seat when he shot everybody inside the vehicle, and then he exited the vehicle and fled on foot. And then, let's see. And then officers were able to talk to some other witnesses as well who identified this baby Little James as James Ortley, the defendant in this case, and that was his street name. Now,
what was the motive? What's the motive? That's it. What's the motive? I want to know the motive.
officers apparently were aware that the defendant and additional members of his family are associated with the Native Mob. This is apparently a criminal street gang.
So the so-called Indian. Oh, so this dude's supposed to be Indian, right? Supposed to be Indian. The Native Mob. That's okay. That's a gang. Interesting. Or Native American, quote unquote, right? A lot of them people are poverty stricken. They live on those damn reservations. That shit be looking like Mortal Kombat, boy. I tell you. But look, so you notice how they form gangs and crimes and stuff like that. They be committed over there. Well, shit, they don't even got clean water over there. Of course, there's gonna be gangs over there. Shit, why don't we look at stuff like that? Of course, it's gonna be the poverty stricken. Wherever the poverty stricken is, guess what? Those people. That's where the trauma. You know, that's where the trauma and the drama emerges. But there's crime everywhere. There's crimes in Beverly Hills. Let's keep it real, man.
Which operates in, they say, South Minneapolis and other areas of Minnesota. So they talked to some family.
You notice when stuff like this happens, they don't never crack. Let's crack down on the Native Americans. Let's go do a sweep on them. You notice that don't never happen, right? When black people do stuff like this, boy, they're gonna start indict the whole damn neighborhood.
Family members of the victims who said that that this baby J, aka James Ortley, was a close family friend to the victims. Let's see. Investigators have quite a bit of evidence, as Chief O'Hara told us the other day. Surveillance video, which does capture, he says, the shooting, and they say that it is consistent with victim 5's description of the incident. And then the video does reveal that single suspect that matches the defendant's description, exiting the vehicle and fleeing the scene. So that's kind of the details, that some of those details we have not yet heard. That just came out here just a short time ago in these charging documents. So we'll continue to follow this. Again, his court hearing has been moved now to Monday, and we continue to kind of follow the progress of those.
I'm a cowboy on top of a beautiful horse without a care in the world, and I'm here to help you. Nope, you cannot have my horse, but
taking the stand. But here to break down the very latest, I want to bring into the conversation legal analyst Nima Rahmani. Nima, thanks so much for being with us here on Knife Now from Fox.
Of course, Christina, excited for next week.
And it's been a trial that we've been continuing to follow here over the last few months and really over the last year, as those developments have still tried to come into our newsroom. But let's start with the very basics. Something that came out this week. Diddy formally declined the last plea deal that he was offered. Again, we know court is set to begin on Monday. Was this an expected move for him to turn down that final plea offer?
Christina, it was expected. And the judge in the case, Judge Subramanian, asked Diddy, did you decline and reject the government's offer? And the reason is It's the defendant's right to a speedy trial, and the judge wants to make sure that he is making a knowing and voluntary decision to push the case to trial, because obviously there's a benefit to pleading. Usually you get a reduced sentence. I still think it would be double-digit years in federal prison under any plea deal. Obviously, the judge and the parties did not disclose the terms of that offer, but I can't see the government giving a huge discount in this case. Now, that being said, Christina, if and when Combs is convicted, he may be looking at decades in federal prison. Judges tend not to give much of a discount or leniency when defendants like this push their case to trial, and very serious federal charges like sex trafficking and racketeering are proven beyond a reasonable doubt to a jury. And it is in his mid-50s. I believe he's 55. And if he is convicted, he may end up spending the rest of his life in federal prison.
And it'll be interesting to watch here. And before we jump into the jury selection aspect, I want to talk about what we're going to be expecting to see Diddy wear in court. This has been one of those conversations that's happening. He's allowed to wear up to 5 button-down shirts, pants, sweaters, socks, and shoes without any laces in the courtroom. So he's not going to be there in his normal jail uniform that he's grown, I'm sure, quite accustomed to over the last few months. Is that going to be important for how the jurors see him when they're standing there in court?
Jack Stice, salute. What up? What up? Good looking out for tuning in, man. We don't be thinking, dude.
Be wearing regular clothing, not again some of those jumps.
It's not how that works in real life. You cannot be wearing regular clothes. It don't matter if you're Mother Teresa. Man, this is ignorant. Oh yeah, he's gonna be wearing some different kind of clothes. So you're showing us this is a style. So you're showing me that this might be. Is this real? A real case? Weird. I didn't know you could just wear anything you wanted to trial. It's weird. All right.
Suits that they wear while behind bars.
Christina, that's expected. And defense lawyers routinely make this motion for their clients to wear civilian clothes because the prison garb is pretty prejudicial, and jurors see someone in that orange jumpsuit and they assume that he's a criminal. Obviously, we have a presumption of innocence in this country. That presumption can be overcome at trial. I do think the government will be able to overcome that trial, but defense lawyers routinely make this motion. It's routinely granted. You see even accused mass murderers in civilian clothing, suits, button-up shirts, and the like at trial. Obviously, there'll be marshals there to make sure everyone's protected, but this is something that I expected when the defense made the motion, and I don't think the government really had a good basis to object to it.
And again, that jury selection process has been underway. It was an original pool of 600 jurors that they now have to whittle down to just 12 with 6 alternates as well. And let's talk about that process a little bit. What kind of goes on behind the scenes, and how difficult is it truly to get 600 jurors down to just 12?
Christina, they call it jury selection, but really it should be called jury deselection. So the judge goes first, and he's going to ask questions of the potential jurors, and he's going to remove any that he believes can't be fair and impartial. Then the parties get to ask their own questions.
About this little ritual that they got, they still used to have all white juries, and sometimes in a lot of cases they still do it. So how does that work? And then the juries do not be somebody's peers. If somebody looks like me, how is it 80% Caucasian people and like Indian guy? You know what I'm saying? How is that a jury of my peers? This whole legal system is just Roman pagan Roman type ish.
So you see the lawyers get up there, talk to the jurors about their views on sexual assault, physical violence. Have they ever been victims of a crime? Then the parties get to use their own strikes. These are called peremptories. The lawyers will strike jurors, and they can strike jurors for any reason or no reason at all, as long as it's not a constitutionally prohibited reason like race, religion, national origin. So combine those with the 4 cause challenges. Those are the jurors who are removed because they can't be impartial, plus the peremptories, which are the discretionary strikes. The 12 jurors that remain, those are the 12 jurors in the case. So they weren't selected, but they weren't stricken by the judge or the lawyers. And of course, with a long case like this, I wouldn't be surprised if we have 5 or 6 alternates, because the last thing you want to do is to start a trial over because you run out of jurors.
And again, it's so hard with this case. I would have to ask you, Nima, from what I perceive, because Diddy is a celebrity, a massive celebrity who's had influence for the last several decades in the music industry and beyond. How difficult is it going to be to find impartial jurors who don't have an opinion already on the music mogul?
It'll be difficult, Christina, and this is probably the biggest celebrity.
You know that this stuff is already see. Doesn't it make any sense? So I mean, people are they're going to be fair and unfair and impartial. What are you talking about? This case has been tried in the court of public opinion for the longest time, for years. And you mean to tell me there ain't gonna be no people that has prejudice?
Case, I think, maybe since Johnny Depp, probably going back to OJ. I mean, this is just such a huge case. And one issue is
we gotta name another black case with another black guy in it. We're not gonna name the Menendez brothers or nothing like that, but we're gonna name. Okay, I get it. Let's go.
Diddy is so big that it doesn't matter if you move the trial.
Because Menendez and all that was on TV. That was covered on TV and all that shit too. So let's go though. What was he saying?
From New York City to some other part of the state or even some other part of the country, everyone in the world knows who Sean Combs is. Everyone's seen the video from 2016 of him seemingly beating ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura.
How did they even? Damn. So they could bring something up a video almost 10 years. But what does that video have to do? Damn, with the case. All right, let's go. That's crazy, man. But see, they don't do none of these white celebrities like that, though. That's all I gotta say about that.
Everyone has a view on this case already. There's not a juror in the entire country that hasn't heard something. So the judge is going to have to ask them to set all that aside and decide the case solely based on the facts and evidence.
Y'all really think that that's going to really happen, right?
What they hear in that courtroom.
Do you think we'll hear from Cassie during this trial? Do you think she'll actually get up on the witness stand?
Christina, I do. Cassie is going to be the government's star witness. She is victim 1. She was the person who was named originally in the first indictment. Obviously, we've seen some new iterations to superseding indictments since then, but Cassie Ventura started this whole thing. Let's not forget, November 2023, New York State had opened the statute of limitations to file a civil lawsuit for some of these claims, and she was in negotiations.
See, that's a setup right there, and that's a setup just for that certain amount of time. You know what I'm saying? Why? Okay, if that's the case, change the law, man, and make it to change the statute of limitations altogether, man. Why would you only do it for a certain year, for a certain amount of time, a certain window? That shit is that sounds like a psyop, some stage shit right there. That sounds like some stage shit to me. By making something like that, oh, we're gonna open this for a year, for 2022 to 2024, like 2023 to 20. That shit's some bullshit, man. How is that fair? That's not entrapment. Like, I mean, not even just entrapment, but how is that fair though? Keep that. Why is the statute of limitations? Why wasn't it changed for a longer period of time? But they want to just make something. Okay, let's just do this for this window for a year or something. This reeks some bullshit to me, man. That's what it reeks to me. It reeks to high heaven, man.
With Combs, in terms of a settlement, reportedly she wanted 20 or 30 million. He offered only 10 million.
Why is it always about money? Why didn't she say, you know what, I want to put him in jail? I don't even want no money. Why do they always civilly sue these people? Why is it always a civil suit? Why is it never no criminal?
And she was up against the clock, so she filed a lawsuit. was a bombshell lawsuit. I mean, the allegations.
The accountability level of children. We're giving, you know what I'm saying? The grown people have the accountability level of children. And we're keeping it like that. Okay. And we're expecting different kind of outcomes and results. That's wild.
Were salacious. Combs settled it the next day, but at that point it was too late. It was a publicly filed document, and it really opened the door. Victim after victim came forward. They alleged similar stories of physical and sexual violence in these freak-offs, guns, violence, drugs. And then the government started investigating, and they picked up the case for criminal prosecution, of course, after Combs's homes in LA and Miami were raided. So she is the reason this case is happening. And if he's convicted, and I expect him to be convicted, I do believe it will be because of Cassidy Ventura. They were dating for more than
kind of crazy that shit is that to say. Wow. We see, we already hear that he's biased. All right, so look, you know what I'm saying? You're hearing this commentary from the biased motherfuckers. I don't want to hear no from no biased motherfuckers. Shit. Weird. All right, so motherfucker popping that shit. Bias is a motherfucker. All right, let's go. You gotta watch a lot of these people, man. All right, so I'm gonna talk about this. I want to talk about Keem Faso real quick, man. Let me see. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm about to close it out, man.
Join us on Patreon and become.
Oh no, you know what I wanted to go through these self-driving trucks too, man. Self-driving big
Part of our journey to uncover history's untold stories. Your support helps us create in-depth content, bring hidden narratives to life, and keep history alive for everyone.
In the heart of West Philadelphia, where red brick row houses sprawl across the landscape and the scent of summer cookouts wafts through the alleys, there existed a group whose radical vision of freedom challenged the very fabric of American society. MOVE, a collective of Black liberationists, environmentalists, and anarcho-primitivists, stood as a beacon of resistance, uncompromising, controversial, and utterly unique. Their philosophy rejected the trappings of modern civilization in favor of a more naturalistic existence, a lifestyle that put them at odds with not only their neighbors, but also the city officials who would, in time, orchestrate one of the most devastating and shameful acts of domestic aggression in American history. On May 13, 1985, the city of Philadelphia, under the authority of Mayor Wilson Goode, a Black Democrat, and Police Commissioner Gregor J. Sambor, authorized a military-style siege on a residential home occupied by MOVE members at 6221 Osage Avenue. The event culminated in a police helicopter dropping a satchel bomb, comprised of C4 and Tovex, a powerful dynamite substitute, on the roof of the house. The explosion ignited a fire that city officials allowed to burn unchecked. 11 people, including 5 children, were killed. Over 60 homes were destroyed. The city block was reduced to ashes. The bombing of MOVE remains one of the darkest chapters in the annals of U.S. civil rights history, a brutal testament to how governments can justify the destruction of Black life in the name of order. MOVE was founded in 1972 by Vincent Leaford, who later adopted the name John Africa. With a belief system that fused elements of Black liberation ideology, ecological awareness, and anti-technology sentiment, the group rejected the norms of Western civilization, which they viewed as inherently corrupt and violent. Members adopted the surname Africa to symbolize their connection to their ancestral roots and distance themselves
That's not even true, but let's go.
from traditional
I guess that's
institutions,
the thing.
including formal education, medical establishments, and government regulation. They advocated for a life in harmony with nature, often living communally
So my thing
and
is-
engaging in raw food diets, animal.
Well, see, that's what that honestly, just that based that fact alone, reparations should have been given just based off shit like that alone. And this happened in the 80s. That wasn't that long ago. So what's the excuse? Like, this don't happen to other groups of people. They don't do this to no damn immigrants. They don't bomb their shit, you know?
rights activism,
Let's keep it
and
100.
naturalistic health practices. Their confrontational stance
They don't
toward
do this
law
to white people.
enforcement and the media quickly earned them
Right.
notoriety. Clashes with neighbors and city officials became frequent, especially after the group moved into Powelton Village in the mid-1970s. Move used loudspeakers to broadcast their views at all hours of the day and night, creating a cacophony that residents found intolerable. But beneath the noise was a broader struggle, one rooted in systemic racism, state violence, and the suppression of Black radical voices. The first major confrontation occurred on August 8, 1978, when police attempted to evict Move members from their Powelton Village home. What followed was a gunfight that resulted in the death of Officer James Ramp. Although the circumstances of the shooting remain disputed, the consequences were swift. 9 Move members, later known as the Move 9, were arrested, charged with third-degree murder, and sentenced to 30 to 100 years in prison, despite evidence suggesting that the fatal bullet did not come from the house. This incident further entrenched Move's belief in the corrupt and punitive nature of the U.S. justice system. By the early 1980s, the remaining members of Move had relocated to Osage Avenue in the Cobbs Creek neighborhood of West Philadelphia. Tensions simmered again. Neighbors filed numerous complaints about the group's unsanitary living conditions, loudspeaker rants, and aggressive demeanor. Yet, what began as a municipal nuisance complaint escalated into a paramilitary operation. On May 13, 1985, after failed negotiations and under increasing public pressure to act, Philadelphia authorities launched an operation involving hundreds of police officers, armored vehicles, and tear gas. They even brought in the fire department to flush out the residents with water cannons. When these tactics failed,
But see, that's what I'm saying. They like, oh, this the civil rights men, they did it, But this was over 10 years after that they did, and they was doing this. I don't know, man. I just don't see the comfortability.
the police resorted to aerial bombing. The bomb created an inferno that quickly spread beyond Move's house. Firefighters were ordered not to intervene as the blaze engulfed the block. 11 people inside the house perished, including Move founder John Africa. 5 of the dead were children: Delisha, Little Phil, Tomasa, Netta, and Tree. The city justified its inaction by claiming the fire would drive out the occupants. Instead, it turned a neighborhood into a war zone. The public outcry was immediate. Civil liberties organizations, community leaders, and international observers condemned the bombing. A commission appointed by Mayor Good, known as the Move Commission, declared in 1986 that dropping a bomb on an occupied row house was unconscionable. Yet, no criminal charges were ever brought against city officials.
Of course not.
The surviving Move members were treated as suspects rather than victims.
We do it to black people.
The
So,
city eventually paid out $1.5 million in civil damages to 2 survivors and relatives of those killed. But the trauma and destruction remained deeply embedded in Philadelphia's psyche. The bombing of Move did not occur in a vacuum.
That's it.
It was part of a broader pattern of state violence against Black radical movements in the United States. From the FBI's COINTELPRO operations targeting the Black Panther Party, to the assassination of Fred Hampton in Chicago in 1969, to the mass incarceration policies of the 1980s and 1990s, Move's fate echoed the government's long-standing hostility to Black resistance. What made Move unique was not just their ideology, but the sheer scale of force used against them in a peacetime civilian context. In the decades since, Move has become both a symbol of Black resilience and a grim reminder of institutional brutality. The group's surviving members, including Ramona Africa, the only adult survivor of the bombing, have continued to speak out, educating new generations about the atrocity.
What is there to educate,
In
though?
recent years,
It was a crime that was
Philadelphia
committed by the
officials have
city.
issued formal apologies.
I mean-
And in 2021, a new scandal emerged when it was revealed that the University of Pennsylvania and Princeton University had retained the remains of Move children without the family's consent, further compounding the historical
how sick
trauma.
these people are?
The legacy of Move
Government, man. That ain't my government. And city officials. Philadelphia is just as racist as anybody. These Democrat liberal states are just as racist as anybody other in the Republican deep South, whatever you want to call it. It's just as racist as that, man. No policy come to you, none of that shit. just cry, just you know, heartache, pain, poverty, stereotypes. They put the immigrants over you. You know what I'm saying? Put them as second-class citizens while you at the back of the bus, right? Literally, right?
Raises difficult questions about justice, memory, and accountability. How does a city reconcile with its own history of sanctioned violence? What does it mean to be free in a nation that punishes those who seek freedom on their own terms? And who gets to define terrorism, the state or the people it seeks to control? These are not rhetorical questions, but urgent calls to reflection and action.
Terrorism. That's what I've been asking. Who gets to define it? Whose definition of what is what? That's a good point. That's a good question. The government, the state government, the local government, the local officials, city officials. That word terrorism is a big sign. Anyway, that's bullshit. When you hear that, when you hear the government call somebody a terrorist, best believe 97.9% of the time it's bullshit. but you can't call the government terrorist. Oh, look at the hypocrisy, right? Let me see. All right, so what's up with this? Let's see what Burkina Faso doing, man. They trying to shut him down.
Assassination attempt.
What's Burkina Faso?
Burkina Faso. It's a country in Africa. Oh. He is the most popular leader in Africa right now. One of the youngest leaders in Africa right now. He has been the president since 2022. I'm going to name you some of the accomplishments he's done. He created their first ever gold mine, state gold mine, and he immediately stopped the exporting raw gold to Europe.
Okay.
He kicked out the French military. He kicked out the French media. He bought Burkina Faso's first 2 planes of their airline. So before they used to have to lease planes, he bought first 2 planes and trying to stop the stranglehold Air France had on Burkina Faso. He banned the British wigs and attire in judicial hearings. He just made education free. He also was part of a coalition between neighboring Mali and Niger. So they have a coalition going on.
Sounds like a good guy. It sounds like he's figuring some shit out.
He's been in office for 3 years. I want you one guess. How many assassination attempts has he survived? Or coup attempts? 8. How many? One guess.
Going to? Probably had
18.
There's been 18 attempts?
18. Just found out this latest coup attempt, one of his right-hand man, one of his soldiers, one of his bodyguards, they offered him $41 million. $41 million. Are you hearing me right now? Ibrahim Touré, the president of Burkina Faso.
Damn, he's a rider. They don't make him like that no more, man. What? Yeah, man, he ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying? He a rider. Straight up rider. You know what I'm saying? You're a beast, man. Oh yeah, these self-driving trucks. The last video, man. I think this is cool. I think this is cute. Now, this is crazy. Fair use. We go Google Gaga over stuff like this. Oh, cool.
Company announcing Thursday the self-driving semi is making deliveries between Dallas and Houston and has completed roughly 12,000 miles so far. The Aurora CEO says he tagged along in the back seat for the truck's maiden ride. He called the experience the honor of a lifetime, adding in a statement, "We founded Aurora to deliver benefits of self-driving technology quickly and broadly. Now we are the first company to successfully and safely operate a commercial driverless trucking service on public roads." The truck features sensors capable of tracking the length of 4 football fields and employs a high-tech computer system. The company says it's currently operating a single autonomous truck for deliveries, but plans to add more later this year. Aurora believes its new technology will be a solution to a current shortage of truckers and high turnover rates, as well as rising costs of operation. The company says it could also reduce labor costs and improve safety on highways. After 4 years of supervised testing, the company delivered more than 10,000 loads to customers across roughly 3 million miles with its autonomous vehicles. The breakthrough comes amid setbacks implementing driverless trucks on the open road. They were once thought to be introduced before robo-taxis and autonomous private vehicles, given the open nature of highways as opposed to city and residential streets. Aurora anticipated rolling out its new autonomous trucks last year, but delayed the deployment to this year, citing a need to update its self-driving system for surface street driving and construction sites. The industry has faced obstacles in terms of technology setbacks and regulations. Public opinion polls show nearly 70% of Americans are afraid of self-driving cars in the wake of some high-profile incidents involving companies like Tesla and Cruise. Cruise faced legal trouble after one of its robo-taxis hit and injured a woman in San Francisco in 2023. Self-driving semis also...
They didn't put that out there on the news like that. I didn't know that. The motherfucker hit somebody. They're a millionaire now, though. Yeah. Motherfucker, a millionaire, man. Motherfuckers, millionaires, man.
Face obstacles from regulations, but these barriers appear to be easing. California regulators are currently considering a proposal allowing autonomous large pickup trucks of more than 10,000.
They're gonna start in California. Of course, they're gonna start it out here.
Pounds to be tested on public roads. The California Department of Motor Vehicles says self-driving trucks fitting this criteria are already being tested.
You motherfuckers, put your life at risk testing robot fucking driverless trucks on the road with actual human live people driving. Put you at risk. Like, fuck you. The public driver, wow.
States like Texas, Arizona, and Arkansas. The proposed rules are now in a public comment period ending in June. Currently, California is the only state banning self-driving heavy-duty trucks. The new
Why would they test it? Why would they test it here if they're banning it? I'm confused. Is this something I'm not getting?
Proposal is reportedly likely to face opposition from safety advocates and labor unions for commercial truck drivers who are worried about job loss due to semi-automation, and they also raise concerns over the technology's risk to public safety. California lawmakers passed legislation in 2023 mandating people aboard self-driving semi-trucks, but the bill was vetoed by Governor Newsom.
I don't know why people this dude, man. Well, I tell you, this motherfucker, man, the sorriest governor, man. But see, they see, all of them are sorry. The president's sorry. The governor of this country, state, they're all fucking sorry. That's not the point, to do nothing for the people. And that lets you know that the point is not for them not doing nothing for the people. You know why you know? Because we're not giving them the laws. Aren't we supposed to be giving them the laws instead of them giving us the laws? Wow.
He justified his veto, saying more regulation was not necessary because existing rules.
Because I'm getting a kickback, you know what I'm saying, from the driver, you know what I'm saying, from the truck company. I'm getting a big ass kickback. You know what I'm saying? I got buddies in the trucking company. I got lobbyists and shit. You know what I'm saying? That told me not to veto the motherfucker and told me not to go with the regulation. It ain't just the Republican dumbass motherfuckers like Trump that don't go with regulations. It's motherfuckers like this too. They're all the same. I don't know. There's no differentiate. I can't differentiate. They all look the same. They all the same. One of them got a donkey. One of them is an elephant. They all the same. Jackass. You know what I'm saying? And a pea brain.
Self-driving vehicles were adequate. The Teamsters Union supported the bill. Companies like Aurora often use states like Texas and California for testing autonomous technology.
Oh, because those are the biggest states. Okay, right. I guess. Right?
California-based autonomous trucking company Gatik currently completes short-haul deliveries for major retailers such as Walmart.
So basically, it's going to put a lot of truckers out of a job, baby. Buckle up. Buckle up, baby. You know what I'm saying? Fasten that safety belt, man, because this ride is going to be very interesting. Play a little bit of this.
I'm a terrible note taker. My notes look like doctor's handwriting mixed with abstract art. And my type notes, forget it.
Let's bring in Peter Baker, New York Times White House correspondent, and Courtney Brown, Axios senior economics reporter. Welcome to you both. So, Peter, what are you hearing about Trump's actual willingness to own a recession? Is this something he is saying in public, but feverishly working behind the scenes to try to avoid?
No, I think he's actually representing what he thinks. I mean, the truth about Trump is that what he thinks, he often says. He's not usually hiding what his real views about these things are. And it's a contrast.
I've been saying this. How many months ago I've been saying this? I was one of the first motherfuckers saying this shit is all fucking staged. It's all contrived. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers gonna make a recession. You know what I'm saying? Depression. You know what I'm saying? It's all staged. You know what I'm saying? It's the powers that be. No, and the crazy thing about it, they ain't talk about these states that are short and funding. You know what I'm saying? California is been in deficit. Texas is having some problems. Well, nobody ain't talking about that though. They want to go talk about to this motherfucker. Oh yeah, but see, that's what their job is to do, to keep you on the federal politics, the shit motherfuckers that really don't never do anything. Versus, you know what I'm saying, the state politics where shit actually sometimes gets done. And we could debate that there is some taxes going somewhere, I guess, even though the roads are still fucked up. But there's still some taxes going somewhere, you know what I'm saying, versus the federal. So, I mean, I just think it's all a game. I don't trust none of these people. I hope none of y'all do. You know what I'm saying? None of this shit is in our favor. We're not, the joke's on you. You're not giving these people any policy. There's more of us than them, but they're giving us policy. And we got to like it or love it or leave it. That doesn't make no sense. None of this shit make any sense. They don't make no sense.
Though with what Trump of 2024 said, right?
Well, it makes sense, my bad, because they're making billions and trillions of dollars. So
2024, you heard Trump on the campaign trail say that we are in an economic disaster and that only he could fix it and that he would do so starting on day one. It would be a golden age, as he said in his inaugural address. He did not tell.
And all these dudes do is lie. All these politicians do is lie. But see, that's on you for believing it, though. Who's it on? It's just like people saying, oh, man, you know what I'm saying, Vlad TV ain't no snitch, you know what I'm saying, because, you know what I'm saying, them people don't got to go on there and say, you know, that they killed somebody on Vlad TV. What you talking about? They incriminating himself. Dude, what are you talking about? Don't it work both ways? Isn't he providing a platform? Don't he be asking them incriminating questions, dude? I can see if he never asked them incriminating questions and they was just volunteering. That's different. But come on, man. Him and Vlad TV asked these motherfuckers incriminating questions, man. These are even before the big U indictments.
All of the voters last year that there would be a recession on the way to get to that golden age. And now, of course, as he just said,
they both play games.
Yeah, it's okay.
You know, the Democrats did it, all the Republicans, man, who in 2025 is tired of hearing this shit? It's the same play. Blame this, but plaster buck. Like, honestly, I'm not trying to, like, it's insanity, but I'm not trying to go with the insanity. I'm trying to, let's boom, break this shit and start something. You know what I'm saying? Let's start a new wave of thinking. Because we thinking insane like these mugs. You just can't go with the narrative, man. With these
there is a recession. I think a lot of Americans are not looking forward to a recession and don't necessarily buy the idea that you need a recession in order to get to a better place economically. Remember, when he took office, while he downplayed the economy, it was actually in pretty decent shape. Unemployment was near record lows. Inflation had come back down to normal.
I don't know about that. They keep saying that. Where's the proof that that shit was fucked up too? But he did. Now, what I can say with all this tariff and all this nonsense, he didn't made it even worse though. All this bullshit he been doing, it's like, what? And then you're supposed to do tariffs later on down the line. You don't just start off with that shit. What are you doing? Yeah. Well, anyway, but see that it don't matter. You do something like this to just when you, and this is lets you know that they're doing all this on purpose. Come on, he got advisors. He got people that aren't stupid in his cabinet, that aren't idiots. You know what I'm saying? He pays people to advise him. They get paid. These people, come on, man. This is a shadow government behind the scenes. You don't think the shadow government wants all this shit to happen? Because then you can come with the paperless money. You can come with the digital ID. You can come with the with way more AI. You can come with, you know what I'm saying, the robot dogs and shit. And you know, come on. They told you that immigrants could be the police. What does that tell you? Immigrants being the cops? I don't know. Let's go.
Formal, there's steady and regular job growth. And it's only since Trump took office that we now have this period of volatility and instability that businesses across the world are trying to figure out what to do about and are in some cases pulling back.
Imagine making $453,000 in a single month as an affiliate marketer without relying on Google, Facebook, or ClickBank, or creating new accounts on Pinterest, Twitter.
Yeah. So, Courtney, 25% auto tariffs take effect today. Yesterday, tariffs on small items valued under $800 took effect. Direct purchases from companies like Shine, they're no longer duty-free. What do you expect is going to be the immediate impact of these?
What we're seeing here is kind of a quiet escalation of Trump's trade policy. There's no big splashy announcements anymore, but we have these dates where these high tariffs are.
What is the plan? The hell with all this mumbo jumbo. What is the plan? What was the plan? That's not any tariffs. That's not the only way you bring the economy back. That's not the only way you bring you know what I'm saying, stuff like that back to you know what I'm saying, to the United States. That's not the only way. You got to invest. It's gonna take trillions and billions. Invest the shit. You got to invest in training, automation, all that. Oh no. People don't have no accountability, so you blame China. What the fuck China got to do with our economy? Nothing. We stupid, man. I'm about to play a little minutes and I'm gonna get out of here.
Getting to take effect. We heard this week that the White House was trying to move to kind of shield the auto industry after calls with automakers. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said that they heard the concerns from the auto industry. They understand that it's going to take time for the automakers to onshore production domestically. So there's essentially a rebate mechanism. The automakers have to pay the tariffs now, but they can get some of their money.
That's what subsidies, tax breaks. That's what I was saying. Then they hit us with the tariff. You get hit with the tariff. That's what they do. They work with the government. All right, you know what I'm saying, give me subsidies, tax breaks, boom, boom, boom. Okay, boom. All this 98% is gonna go to the consumer now. Bam. I've been saying this. People don't listen. I don't know. Maybe don't think I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Their money back.
And it makes sense. That's when you're gonna get the hit. And there, maybe another month, 3 weeks, maybe. That's what they say. I don't even know. I'm not behind the scenes, but they say that's the supply. A lot of these supplies and stuff like that in these ports and stuff is still left. It's like a month, 3 weeks worth. You see what I'm saying? And then the tariffs are gonna take effect. And then, but it's a lot of fear mongering. It's always fear mongering these stories. But you see what I'm saying? All I know is you're gonna it's gonna be a double, quadruple hit. Prices are high now. They're not gonna drop for one, so that's a hit right there. You're gonna get hit with the tariff. That's the tax, and then guess what? You're gonna get hit with the another tax, because guess what? Companies are gonna raise their prices again. Oh shit! Wow.
That really goes to show that the administration is afraid they're afraid of the economic fallout that might happen.
And they're not afraid of nothing. They wouldn't. Don't you think he would? But see, and you do something like that, it's hard to stop in your track and track the damage is already done. A lot of times. I don't know, man. I don't even vote for none of these motherfuckers, man. I'm gonna play a couple more minutes and I'm out.
From their tariffs. So I think automakers are going to start feeling the pain. Consumers are going to start feeling the pain. These goods from China that are now subject to tariffs are extremely popular among Americans, young Americans especially. And it's a question on Wall Street right now. What do they do with that money now that that money is maybe not going to Shein or Temu? Are they spending it domestically? Probably not. They're probably just not going to spend that money because there's no similar replacement that's American made.
Peter, Courtney's saying that the White House is worried about this. Are they talking about that specifically, at least among themselves? What are they saying?
Yeah, people around Trump are, right? And that the problem for them is that Trump is the only decision maker here, and that he listens maybe to the last person who's in the room, but you can't even account on that decision to stick. I think some of the people around him are confused, even themselves, about what his long-term strategy is, because at any given moment, he's likely to change course, right? The tariffs are on today, they're off tomorrow. We're going to make exceptions for these, but not for these. These countries are going to be affected, and these won't. Yeah, I think that the lack of consistent planning, the lack of a coherent strategy that everybody.
Even though I didn't like Obama, but you know what I'm saying, when Obama, I didn't like him, I couldn't stand him. But if Obama was doing something like this, these motherfuckers, the media, they'd be totally different. Even though he didn't do nothing for us, and that's why they put him in there, just like they put this dude in there because they know he's a fucking idiot, and they know he's an actor. What it is, he's an actor and he's a populist. People like him. He says it how it is and shit. You can say it how it is all you want. I know motherfuckers from the hood that say how it is. I know motherfuckers from the street that say how it is. There was some shiesty. There's still some shiesty motherfuckers. There's still some of the shiesty motherfuckers I know. And you know what? They're so shiesty, I don't even mess with them no more. How about that? But they said it like how it was. They kept it real. But that don't mean that you ain't no shiesty person, man. I don't know, man. But I'm about to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? So, man, salute to Luke. You know what I'm saying? Dawson, you know what I'm saying? Jack Stice that's tapped in, man. Salute to y'all. I'm gonna holla at y'all, man. You know, like, comment, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? I'm still revamping the page and shit. Seems like, I don't know, YouTube, my numbers are still down. I think YouTube is shadow banning me. I don't know. YouTube needs to go in and tell me something and shit and stop playing games. You know what I'm saying? Blocking people from the channel and block all that. I'm not feeling that. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna do another show, man. I should be on Wednesday, man. So salute, and I'm gonna holla at y'all, man. So other than that, man, like, comment, subscribe, share this out to y'all social media, and I'm out. Till next.